Well, happy Friday, everyone. Happy post-Thanksgiving live stream. Hope you're all doing well. First of all, welcome to the Lawn Care Live Q&A. Now, granted, this time of year, most of your lawns are probably dormant, but we're still going to get together, have a good time, chat about lawn care, cut up a little bit, hear about some of the stuff you guys did over Thanksgiving. I'm hearing about some concoctions here, turkey casserole, some other things, so should be a fun time. For those of you new to the channel, my name is Ron Henry. Again, the live stream is all about you. It's all about answering your lawn care questions. Might be stuff you're dealing with now, might be things that you're considering doing next season. You know, perhaps you're thinking about top dressing or, thinking about picking out the right fertilizer, things along those lines. Sometimes I have the answer, sometimes I don't. But either way, we have a great time talking about lawn care. The way this works really simple. Drop your questions down in the chat, and I will pick them up in the order they come in. And that's how this works. So hopefully, again, everyone had a safe and fun Thanksgiving. Let's see who is here in the comment section. We got Daryl Tunstall. What's going on, Daryl? Says, evening, Ron. I'm glad to have you back in the chair tonight. I am. I'm back in the chair. Back in the chair. Rocking my 1600 Greensmaster shirt. I mean, I can't mow right now, so at least I can wear the shirt and channel like the desire to mow just through wearing the shirt. It's crazy. Like I get up in the morning, I'll get a cup of coffee, I get downstairs and I'll go look at the lawn and it's like, yep, still dormant. I mean, there's still some green, a little bit of green over to the right near the patio, but I think one more mow and then I'm gonna call it good for the season. I mean, it's I just want to clean up a little stragglers here and there, but it's for the most part the lawn is going dormant. But I'm doing good, man. The holiday weekend wasn't bad. Pretty quiet, uneventful. Just relaxed. Didn't do a whole lot. Watched football. Who played? Was it the Bears? I forget who played. I think it was the Bears that played, right? I think it was a couple of games, but yeah, I think the first game was not good. The second game was good, and the third game I didn't stay up late enough to finish. But yeah, it was a good time. Then we got Mark F in the house. He's saying, play some intro music on smooth. Well, hopefully the intro music is good. Hope you like it. The actual name of that song is Luxury. So, I guess it's going to give you kind of a luxurious aura feel to start out the show. I mean, Milan doesn't look like that right now. So at least it gives me, hope for times to come in the spring. Spring will be here before we know it, right? Next up, we got Michael Selly. What's going on, Michael? Hopefully you're doing well, sir. Thanks for coming to hang out. And then we got the Wind Chariot in the house saying, evening, folks. I'm early. You are. He says, I just got this one comment. Ron, your YouTube videos and this live stream have helped produce the best lawn I've ever had. Even in the dormant state, still all thick and brown. I am glad to hear that, sir. I mean, granted, yeah, I'm sure I've shared some helpful tips, but really it's just a lot of the consistency and hard work you've been putting in over this past growing season is what's resulted in your lawn looking the way it looks. So, and the thing is, it's going to get even better, right? Because, if you put the lawn to bed nice and healthy and everything, is vibrant and strong, just means that whenever, spring rolls around, it's going to come out of dormancy that much better. You're going to be that much further ahead of the curve. So good stuff, man. Glad that your lawn did well this season. All right, next up, we got Timothy Wolf. He says, happy Friday, and everyone. And Ron, what's going on, Timothy? Thanks for coming to hang out, sir. Appreciate you, as always. He says he got 5 bags of Humix Max received, just a few more things from the store, and I will be ready for next year. Yeah, man. So for those of you guys that missed it, so the Miramichi Green products were on sale from Black Friday until 2 days ago, to the 30th, to the end of the month. But Humic Max, they're going to still run that for a little bit longer, so you can still save some money on Humic Max. The price savings, the cost savings right now is actually pretty good. I mean, it's like $45 a bag, so pretty good discount on it compared to what it costs during the normal season. For those of you that don't know what Humic Max is or what I'm talking about, I'll swing over here. Let me see if I can get this resized, this window. Can I do that? Yep, it's working. Boom. All right. So this is the fertilizer that Timothy's talking about, the 1608. That, again, I have yet. I might get one. There's still time this year, but I have not gotten an email or message from anyone saying they tried out this fertilizer, did not get a great result with it. So a lot of you guys are loading up for next season. It's a smart move because, I mean, you got to figure, one, it's an excellent product, a great formulation for most lawns, and also has that almost 9%, that 8.9% humic acid, which is very healthy, helps improve soil quality. And another thing, with given everything that's going on as far as like supply chain and just the cost of everything going up, there's nothing that says that you're going to be able to get the fertilizer for at this price. You probably won't be able to get it at this price next year. That I can almost pretty much guarantee. But without knowing where things are going to fall out, it's not a bad idea if you've already been using it and you've had great results with it to go ahead and load up. Again, the only thing I say, as long as you have a cool and dry place to keep it, stock up and be ready to go for next season. So it's an excellent product. Excellent products. All right, we got Brooklyn Boy in the house. He says, let's get this started. What's going on, Brooklyn Boy? Hopefully you're doing well. And the wind chair is saying, who all is asking Santa for presents for their lawn? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool presents you could ask for. Go with the fertilizer. Max is a good option. There's, of course, the carbon kit, the Miramichi Green Carbon Kit, the Release Zero, BioSpectrum, NutriKelp. Those are also good choices. Just depends. There's a lot of great products in the DIY space right now. So it's, definitely is. And now's a good time, again, especially if you got a place to store it. It's not a bad time to load up for next season. So at least, for the first couple of months. So when everyone is scrambling, when March rolls around to try and get stuff, you're already good to go. You're good to go to, get the lawn rolling and looking its absolute best. All right, so Wind Cherry is saying, I finally ate all the turkey casserole leftover. So all the leftover turkey is gone. So I guess it's a dish that you make after, so with like leftovers is what it sounds like. Sounds like I've never had turkey casserole. So I can't say that, know what it tastes like. One thing I have to try out, and it sounds like it's too much. I heard about this dish, for any of you guys that are networking people, like we joke about like this dish called turducken, which is like encapsulation, right? So it's like, what is it? It's chicken inside a duck inside the turkey. I think that's how it is. So it's the turkey, then the duck, then the chicken, or actually you put the chicken in the duck, then the duck in the turkey, which sounds like it would be a lot of meat. It seemed like it'd be very, I don't know. I'm not sure that it doesn't sound super appealing, but I'm sure for those of you guys that have had it, anyone that's had it has told me it's been really good. So any of you guys have ever had turducken, it'd be interesting to get your feedback on if it's something that's worth trying out or if it's worth passing on. So if you ever tried turducken, let me know in the comments below. All right, Alex is in the house. He says, happy Friday, Ron. Great to have you back this week. Hope you enjoyed your holiday. Was not bad. Can't complain, Alex. I am glad to be back with you guys. It was nice having the night off. But yeah, always good to be back. And then Alex is saying, I got a bunch of compliments on my gray Miramichi green hat while going up to cut up my Christmas tree down. Thanks again. Nice, man. I'm glad you're representing. We're in the hardware. So for all the winners, you guys should have gotten your merch, your swag already. And also for those of you that place the orders, there's supposed to be a Miramichi green hat included for the first 25 orders when we were doing the Black Friday special. So if you didn't win one in the live stream, that's another chance for you to potentially get a hat, assuming you ordered something. But yeah, very cool. You're better than me, Alex. When it comes to Christmas trees, I have to admit, I am incredibly lazy. So I may or may not have a tree up that's been up for going on 4 to 5 years now. 4 or 5 years, whatever. It's been a while. It's been up for several years. Got it from Costco. It sits in the window. It looks, here's the thing, before you guys judge me, I can already see, I can feel it. You know what? You guys aren't even here. I can't even see you, but I can feel the judgment coming through the live stream. So it's already in a nice place. It looks good. It looks like it belongs there. And just, whenever Thanksgiving Day rolls around, the red day after Thanksgiving, I just plug it in, turn it on, and it looks great. And then when January 1st rolls around, just unplug it and, good to go till next year. And I don't break it. There's none of that. I mean, granted, it doesn't smell nice like I'm sure a fresh cut tree does. But yeah, there you go. You know that Ron is super lazy when it comes to Christmas decorations and that kind of thing. But tree looks nice, I think. Just stays up all the time. All right, yeah. So Winter is saying it is chopped up turkey pasta, mozzarella cheese, Parmesan sprinkles, and breadcrumbs, then baked till bubbly. Sounds good, man. Sounds like a good like a Thanksgiving shepherd's pie, like a little bit of everything all in one. Very, very cool. Mr. Crabgrass Eliminator himself, VMH, is in the house. What's going on? He says, happy Friday. What's going on, VMH? So you got to tell us, man, how did the lawn, I'm sure the lawn is dormant now, but how did things end up at the end of the season? I know you spent a lot of time throwing Quinclorac at your lawn to get rid of the crabgrass you're dealing with. So I'm kind of wondering if you thinking next year you're going to be more Bermuda than crabgrass, which would be great given all the work you put into it. And we got Mr. Papa Mo's Lowe's in the house. What's going on, man? Hopefully you're doing well. Thanks for coming to hang out, sir, as always. And Clayton, what's going on, Clayton? Clayton, you updated your avatar, man. Either you look, I think it's different. You look angry. I'm looking here. You look like either angry, like you're in the gym, about to do some war, some weights or something. But yeah, I dig it. And Greg's in the house. What's going on, Greg? He's like, welcome. It's actually before Greg. He says, welcome back. Glad to see you again. Thanks so much, sir. I will do my best to not miss going forward. I know you guys are, man. You're pretty demanding as far as, me being consistent. So I'm gonna do my best. And then Papa Mo's Low says, no questions tonight, just listening to the greatest show on turf. I saw what you did there. I see greatest show on turf. All right, I got you. Thanks for that, sir. I appreciate the support. And then Greg has a question. This is a good one. So first question of the night from Greg. He says, is it okay to run your real mower with non-ethanol fuel all year round? Okay, so it depends on who you ask. In my opinion, if you are running your mower all the time, then yeah. So it's like if you want to just go get like the 87 octane or whatever out of the whatever your local gas station has. If you're constantly running your mower, so like say you live in like South Florida and you're mowing year round, then not that big a deal. Like in other words, the only time I switched to ethanol-free gas is the last month. So like in October-ish is when I started putting that in it. So I ran a few tanks of ethanol-free gas through it, just so that when I put the mower up, I'm reducing the chance anyway of it drawing moisture in and just creating a mess. I mean, with the True Cut last year, I don't believe I did that. With the True Cut, I don't think I did that, and it started up this year first pull anyway, and it still ran great. So it's probably not as big a deal, but yeah, if you are running the mower all the time, then it's no biggie. It's almost like a car, right? Like if you have like I don't know how you guys are really into performance cars, but let's say you're using E85, so ethanol is like poor man's race gas. If you are running that in your car and you're driving the car for really regularly, like weekly, every couple of weeks, not that big a deal. But if you're going to sit it and park it for months, the idea it's generally not a good idea to do that because it causes corrosion, because it draws moisture in, right? So yeah. So hopefully that helps, Greg. If you're mowing all the time, which unless you're like South Florida, I don't imagine you'd be doing that. Then you're good to go. But with the Greensmaster, I've done that. I've been really particular with it. With the True Cut in years past, I've done that. This past year, I did not, and there was no issue. But I would, if at all possible, switch to ethanol-free gas for the last couple of tanks of the season, or drain the 10% ethanol fuel out of it before putting the mower up. That is what I would do. Good question, though. It's a good one. Good question to kick things off. Very, very, very good. Actually, we got a super chat. Let me run down here and grab that. What we got here? Thanks so much.
Super chat received.
It says $10 from CMath. Thank you so much. Sir. I really appreciate it. It says SS stream support. Every little bit helps, man. Bandwidth is not cheap. Bandwidth is not cheap. Internet's not cheap. It says, nice to see you back again, Ron. I'll apply Disease X earlier next time. I'm stuck with dormant yellow St. Augustine. Yeah, man. I mean, if you've not had issues in your lawn with fungus problems, St. Augustine tends to be a bit more sensitive when it comes to fungus problems. But if you've not had issues, then it's less critical. But if you have, and you just want to reduce the chances of having a problem in the spring, getting a fungicide down, last month would have been a great idea. Like early last month would have been good. But yeah, no worries. I appreciate it, sir. Thanks so much for the support. And really quickly, we got Alex here. He says, in the house. What's going on, Alex? He says, I took my Ron Henry hat all the way down to Puerto Rico. Yeah, for you guys that don't know, Alex, my next door neighbor, he just went down to the PR for some R&R, and he was representing with the Ron Henry hat. I actually don't have the one that he wore. I don't think it's in here, but it's cool. It's got like stars and stripes on it. It's kind of flashy. It's kind of like the back of this without the camo. So imagine like this hat, but without, like, the back is the same and the front, I forget what the front is, Alex, but yeah, this pretty much this hat with a different front. So very, very cool, sir. Appreciate all the support. And Rinchair's like, LOL at the year-round tree. Man, listen, don't judge me. There are people that like leave up their lights until like well into January. At least I'm not that. Whenever like the beginning of January rolls around, there's not going to be any Christmas lights on, and then like the day of, I got the day after Thanksgiving, I crank it up. I'm good to go. So it's like, and it's a nice block for the window. I don't have to put like a plant in the window or curtains. It kind of just solves that problem, So there you go. It works. It works for me. I knew I was going to get hate from you guys. As I was saying, I'm saying, you know what? Someone's gonna come at me for that one, but I don't care. I can't. No shame in my game. No shame in my game. All right. Next up, we got JG in the house. What's going on, JG? Just happy Friday, y'all. Still warm and sunny in Northwest Iowa. How is it sunny in Iowa? Aren't you guys covered up in snow by now? I'd imagine this time of year you guys would already have had a couple of winter not necessarily storms, but at least enough snow covered where you're not seeing the lawn. But again, here's the thing: we got to qualify it because warm and sunny for Northwest Iowa, you guys probably consider like 45 degrees, 40 degrees warm and sunny. So we got to figure out your definition of that. We got Ogsan in the house. What's going on, Ogsan? Happy Friday, all. Happy to be here again. What is that, man? What do you get there in your avatar? It looks like you got a zero turn. Looks like a Toro. Some big hardware, man, that you're working with. Nice. Very cool. LG, what's going on, sir? Thanks for coming to hang out. I appreciate you, as always. We got Lois H in the house. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy Friday. Ron, thanks so much. Merry Christmas to you, Lois. And it was, actually, we can say Merry Christmas now, right? I think after Thanksgiving is when Merry Christmas opens up, I think, right? I'm not sure what the actual rules are on that, but it sounds reasonable to me. So yeah, thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you. Hopefully you get lots of cool stuff this year around. If you're going to buy anything, get it early because it seems like things are a lot harder to come by this year. So yeah, but I appreciate you coming to hang out. Appreciate the support. All right. And then 007 Lon says, happy Friday. Keep up the great work. Ron, you the best. DJ Khaled voice. Another one. This is, have you tried Chick-fil-A's frozen lemonade drink? It is amazing. Okay. So they have a lemonade milkshake thing that I've had before. I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about. So I've had that before. And here's the thing. I got to admit, and I know I'm in Georgia, so I'm going to probably get hate for this. The first year when they did it, I didn't like it. It was the lemonade to milkshake ratio or to ice cream ratio was a little bit off. Sure, either last year or the year before, I tried it again, and it was good. So they adjusted, I think, the formulation. I'm not sure how they make it, or maybe my local Chick-fil-A got the formulation better, and it is good. It is tasty. They should make it year round. I don't think they don't carry that during the summer, and it's really more, in my opinion, more of a summer thing than a winter drink. But yeah, I've had it, and it is. I agree with you. It is pretty awesome. It is pretty awesome. They have like a Caesar, like a lemon Caesar salad type salad they have, and they were running this summer. That was awesome. I hope they put that on the menu, permanently, because it's really, really good. Chick-fil-A, if you're watching this, you guys should, add that salad because it's really good. All right, Brick Rehab's in the house. Says, hey Ron, supporting my I'm sexy and I mow it t-shirt. I have to Google that one. I'm not seeing that one. It's a cool shirt though. Sounds cool. I'm glad that you're doing well on Brick Rehab. I don't have one of those. I do have my 1600 shirt, so I'm going to wear that. Courtesy of Mr. Josh Habib. I really appreciate that. And then next up, we got Greg with another question. Good here. Thanks so much, Greg. He says, I have several small dirt piles in my yard. Was wondering, was that some type of bug hibernating or what? It might be worm castings, Greg. It could be a couple of things. But if it looks like small little dirt hills and they look, what's the best way to describe it? They look kind of fluffy, is probably the best way to say it. It doesn't look like it's like a solid dirt hill, but it looks kind of like a fluffy dirt hill. I guess is the best way to describe it. I don't know how dirt looks fluffy, but you know what I'm talking about. If it's that, it's probably worm castings, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually a good sign. Earthworms are good for your lawn, for the soil. They can look a little bit unsightly. Some people don't like the way they look, but there's nothing. If it's what I think it is, it's nothing to really be worried about, or anything like that. I would just let it roll. It's interesting that you're having them this late in the season. Like I don't have any in my lawn anymore. Once it started getting cold, last was like late October is when I was seeing them. But then since once into November, haven't really seen that many come around. So Very, very cool. All right, Alex B's in the house. He says definitely have the dormancy blues, but at least blowing and mulching up leaves gives me something to do out there. The last few weeks, I don't envy you guys, man. I drive by some of the lawns in the neighborhood, and I mean, you literally there's a couple of lawns where you literally could not see the lawn. It was just leaves everywhere, and I was like, man, that looks horrible. Because I mean, there are some people that are just blowing them out in the street, which is kind of not cool. Because anyway, when cars drive by, it gets knocked right back up on the lawn. It kind of makes kind of a mess. But leaf removal is a big deal, man. Like one of my buddies owns like they do landscaping work and mainly spraying. And he says at this time of year, like mowing, like they do mowing and they also do leaf removal this time of year. And he says mowing is way easier than leaf removal, right? Because I mean, when you mow, for the most part, you can mulch. You don't have to really haul the grass clippings away unless the person is paying for you to do that. But leaves, they expect the leaves to be gone. So unless they got like a compost pile, which most people that live in subdivisions do not have, it's just a lot of work to take all that stuff out and then dispose of it. So yeah, I hear you, man. At least it gives you something to do. I need to get out and still string trim the fence that's in the back lawn now. There's like a patch, I don't know, like a 4-inch patch of like grass that's growing along there, and I just been lazy to trim it. So maybe this weekend. I keep saying I'm going to knock out one last mow of the season, and maybe then I'll also go out and get out there and string trim as well. And then the lawn will be truly done until next year. We shall see. Robert Rainey's in the house. This is going on, guys. What's going on, Robert? Thanks for coming to hang out. I appreciate you. And then Clayton Wilson says, Ron, I just sent off my soil test. I was so happy with the looking consistency, dark and rich. Can't wait for the results. That's good, man. Yeah, it's a cool thing. Once you can start consistently feeding the soil, again, in my case, giving it a regular diet of biochar and compost really improved the soil profile. Like, I'm not sure if you guys saw that video around the summer when I had some sprinklers replaced, like shows you how to replace a Hunter sprinkler head. When Austin from Mayfield Irrigation came out and did that, he would cut out, I don't know, it's probably almost a foot of material. Like he would did his thing and took like a big donut out, and it was cool to see the color differences, how deep and dark the soil was near the surface from all of the amendments, all the carbon, all the top dressing, the compost, all that just building up over time and really producing great soil, right? So I always say like great grass byproduct of great soil. So just create great dirt, and great grass is a byproduct. Speaking of which, on that line, so what do you guys have? I got an email from a viewer saying, what's something that you can be doing this time of year? Because they're saying, hey, I can't. They got their soil test results back, and they need a bit of N and K. So now I said, now's not the time to really do that. The grass isn't growing. Wait till springtime to apply that. But what you can do, if you guys are itching to do something, is if you have a site one nearby, you want to get some Carbon Pro G, you can do that. Or if you want Essential G. That's another option too for improving the quality of the soil. It's something you can do now. It doesn't go away. It builds up and you're just going to be in better shape when springtime rolls around. Again, I did it every month. I've done it every month since July of last year. I've not done this month's application as yet, but it's maybe something I'll make a video about. Maybe let you guys just pretty much telling you what I just told you now, that as if you're looking for something to do over the winter months to help improve your lawn or improve the soil, that's going to help your lawn do better next year. The soil amendments, the carbon soil amendments, especially the granular, is a good option. It's a great option. The only caveat to that is if you live somewhere up north where it freezes or you've got like snow cover, obviously don't apply it if there's snow all over the ground or if the ground's frozen. But if you live somewhere that it gets cold like here in Georgia, but it never really freezes, we never really get a hard freeze for any length of time, it's something you can do monthly still that will scratch your itch and also do something to improve the quality of your soil as well. So good looking out, Clayton. Thanks for letting us know. And yeah, it's something that you guys can do if you're looking for something to do every month until springtime. And yeah, Alex, I agree with you. So Alex is seconding what I'm saying Agrig line, they could be worm castings. As cold it is up by me north right now, I'm still getting quite a few of those lately. Interesting you're still getting those, Alex. I don't have any on my lawn, and I do get some worm castings, and they, again, like I said, since October-ish, pretty much gone away. But cool, yeah, I am gonna, without seeing them, it sounds like worm castings to me. That's what I'm thinking. All right, Brick Rehab, and here we go. Here we go with the Christmas decorations. Brick Rehab says, not a question that needs to be answered, but why did the tree wait till my Christmas yard decorations were up and then try to lose its leaves? Because here's the thing: it knows the tree watches you throughout the season, Brick Rehab, and it knows, you know what, he's gonna want something to do. He puts those decorations out, and if I shed my leaves all over him, it's gonna allow him to get out in the lawn, get some exercise, get out there and just do what he likes doing. So that's why that's gonna be my vote for why that happened. But however, one must ask, right? Like, again, I am not like by any means an expert on Christmas decoration protocol, as evidenced by the tree that stays up. It's been up for almost 5 years now. I thought you were supposed to wait till after Thanksgiving to do the decorations. So unless you did it like this past weekend and then got the trees lost their leaves, you probably did the decorations a little bit too early, is what I would say. But again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe like mid-November is a good time to start doing Christmas decorations. But I thought Thanksgiving was go time for Christmas. But I am open to be corrected. All right, next up we got Shazia Chaudhry from the UK. Says, "Hey Ron, hope you're in good health." I am. I cannot complain. Can't complain. If I were in good health, no one would listen, no one would care. But yeah, I'm doing well. I appreciate you. He says, "Thanks for continuing advice. Looking forward to another great show. I hopefully you won't disappoint." Here's the thing, guys. Like, outside of me moping and moaning about not being able to mow and the grass all turning brown, I'm just looking forward to seeing what kind of questions you guys have and talk about our goals for next season. Outside of the front, which was green 2 weeks ago and now is pretty much losing that color now towards it's turning more yellowish. There's not a whole lot else left to do. Like I said, I can do one last mow to clean things up, give everything an edge, and just wait at this point. Do a whole lot of nothing. All right, Mazama Blue is in the house. It says, "Hey, this is Ron. Happy Friday." Happy Friday to you, sir. Appreciate you coming to hang out in the live stream. Says, "Picked up some Miramichi Green pest control delivered with the hat. Nice. I like it. I dig it." So that's good. So the hats are going out. So yeah, for any of you guys that ordered between Friday and the 3rd. So is that Tuesday? Tuesday was December 1st, I think. Yeah. So Friday and Tuesday, somewhere in that space, you should have gotten a hat if you were within the first 25 orders in the store. So that's Mazama Blue. Apparently you were in the first 25. So you got a hat with your pest control. So you got some swag. You gotta love swag, man, right? It's like when I was when security conferences were still a thing, like when we still had like Black Hat and DEF CON in Vegas. I mean, they still are a thing. They're all virtual now. They're not as good as they used to be. A big reason why I would go is I could get like my annual t-shirts, right? I get go all the different booths. They scan you. Granted, you get like tons of spam email afterwards, but you get like some of the best t-shirts by going to conferences. So yeah, swag. I definitely get your appreciation for cool swag, Mazama. Glad you got some. All right, Dwayne Hopkins says, "Hello, Ron. Excited tonight. Happy you're doing the live streams, even though the growing season is over. Thank you for all you do. Everyone hit that like button." I appreciate that, Dwayne. That is, I appreciate you calling out the like button, because the like button is important. It does a lot for helping, people or YouTube say, "Hey, you know what? This is probably something we should share and push out to other people, and we'll bring more people in." So, gives the channel more visibility, gives the live stream more visibility. Overall, we have a great time. So if you guys don't mind touching that like button ever so gently, it's only 7:30, but I'm still gonna have some of my lemonade. I'd appreciate it. It's an easy way for you guys to support the channel, and it costs you nothing. Think about that. Think about things you can do in life. Granted, there's a lot of things, but something you can do that costs you nothing and still helps someone else. It's gonna help. It's gonna make you feel good. Promise. But yeah, Dwayne, we'll keep doing the live streams as long as you guys keep showing up. I will keep doing them. All right. Alex B says, "I had about half a bag of Humic Max left over going into next season, but I couldn't resist that deal to get after another bag." I hear you, man. I mean, nothing wrong with stocking up. Again, you got a dry place to keep it. By all means, go for it, sir. By all means, go for it. We got Dalvin. Dalvin's like, "Hey, Ron, no questions, but happy Friday. Thanks for hanging out, Dalvin." Dalvin, so you know what? You are the poster child for like soil testing. I wish, a lot of the emails, I wish we could share like some of the correspondence with everybody, but Dalvin is an interesting story. Over the course of the summer, Right. Like he was looking at his lawn. He was saying, I think I'm fertilizing every month. I think I'm doing the right things. And the grass just doesn't look good. It was looking thin, just wasn't growing in as nice as he liked, given all the work he was putting into it. And, he was he's mowing regularly. He was making sure his equipment was sharp. He was watering enough. And I finally said, I said, have you done a soil test yet? And he's like, oh, not yet. And he finally did one. I think, when did you get it done? Was it like July? Like late July you got one? And the results were like, his macros were way down. Like his NPK was low, was very low. He threw a starter fert down, and that brought things back up. And towards to the later part of the season, his lawns are looking really good. So he's an interesting one. Definitely a great use case for why starting out the season with soil testing is a good idea. So you can make sure you're putting the right product down. So you're not going to be frustrated by not getting the result from all your hard work. But I appreciate you coming to hang out, Dalvin. Glad you are taking some time out of your Friday evening to come talk about turf, even though most of our lawns, I imagine, is dormant. So, in the live stream, just I guess by a show of hands, or you can just say me, do any of you guys still have green grass? Like, are any of your lawns still, not necessarily like, summer good, obviously not that good, or like late fall good, but to where the lawn still looks green and that you are dominating your neighbors. When your neighbors drive by, like your lawn stands out and is still green, or is pretty much everybody in some stage of dormancy at this point? It'd be interesting to find out. All right, and then Lois H is up next. She says, I received my carbon kit this week and a big old hat. They shouldn't be that big. The hats are going to be, they're going to be like this size, but I wouldn't call like this or this a big old hat. It's not that big. Not that big. What? See, fits my head. I've been told I got a big head. But not like a big head in like a negative way, but like my head physically is large, and I find they fit just fine. So maybe they are big. But you will be the first that I've heard complain about the hat size, Lois. But hey, it was free, and just think about it when you're out there working in the lawn. Not right now, but like next year, you got something to keep sun off your face, which is good. And think about it, unless like your neighbors are also down with the program too, I can almost guarantee that no one else on your street is going to have one of those, which is kind of cool. You can style and profile with your limited edition, hard to get Miramichi green hat. And he says, the rest of the comment says, I can't wait to use it next season. He says, I picked up leaves from the front and backyard today. My grass looks so cozy. I bet. Yeah, I remember the pictures you sent. I think you sent me pictures of, I think it was you, where you have, if I remember, you have the lawn, but also there's like a public space or like a park area that borders you that a lot of leaves fall onto. Yeah, if you're the person I'm thinking about, or the pictures that I'm thinking about, you have quite a bit of area to deal with to take care of for leaves. At least based on the pictures, it looks that way. So, but I'm glad you got it done. It's always good. Okay, next up, we got Nils in the house. It says, hey, Ron, nice to be back for all the lawn tips. Thanks for coming to hang out, Nils. I appreciate you. Yeah, Nils. Every time I see Nils, I think about a USPSA shooter, like his handles like No Skills Nils. As every time I see Nils, I was thinking about that guy. But yeah, thanks for coming to hang out, Nils, as always. And hopefully there'll be some cool lawn tips. Depends on what the questions are. I already gave one about things you can do over the winter months while you're bored. You get that compost and carbon up in your lawn. You can sip on some lemonade. You can come to live streams, hit the like button. So there are some things you can do that are productive. All right. It's a good one. Okay, so Dwayne says, what is the difference between moss and fungus? I'm seeing what I have, I think, is moss because it looks like algae. But I'm not sure what I'm having as not had water or rain, only morning dew. So fungus takes on a couple of, that's actually a great question. Fungus it can manifest itself in a lot of different ways depending on the kind that you're dealing with in your lawn. So a good example, if you have like what I had, like brown patch, large patch in my lawn earlier this spring. It's a disease that kills or damages the grass. In some cases, it kills entire areas of the grass. In other cases, it creates rings in the lawn. So a good example, like spring dead spot, kills off entire sections of grass. You'll have I would say like an 8 to 10 inch area of maybe a 12-inch diameter, that type of size is just dead for no reason when springtime rolls around. When I think of moss, it's you can think of moss as something that displaces grass. I think moss technically it's moss and fungus are not the same thing, but I think it's technically a plant, right? It's one that just likes really acidic conditions, moist conditions, damp conditions, but it's moss and I would say this. I would say that moss is closer to grass than it is to fungus. Fungus and moss are not in any way related. I'd say if you had to say moss is closer to being a plant, whereas fungus is it's fungus. It's bacteria and disease that can negatively affect affect plants, right? So yeah, and you're saying what I'm seeing looks like algae. So algae, I normally see that in areas where you're saying there's no water, but you could think of like algae tends to look or cause like a black tarish look in areas where it grows in. So like on the back patio, an area that's right in front of the sprinklers, when I had a problem with that, with one of the sprinkler heads leaking, after earlier this season when I first started doing a lot of watering, or when I would just run irrigation, I would see it wasn't like a ton, a lot of it, but you could look at it almost like a thin black layer of it looks almost like soot is one way to describe it. Like that's algae. Moss is green and grow. It looks like very, very low cropped. It's moss, but it looks like very, very low cropped. I hate to say grass, but it's like low cropped plant life that tends to like cooler and darker areas. And then fungus is like a different category altogether. So they're all really different things. You said, are you not sure why you're having it as you haven't had any water or rain, only morning dew? I don't know, man. Send me a picture of it, Dwayne. Let me take a look at it. My email address. I need to clean up some of these annotations I have here. Yeah. My email address is this, ron@golfcourselawn.com. Send me a picture of it and see if we can figure out what's going on. Because typically algae, that's like a wet, poor drainage areas is where it tends to develop. Not necessarily always that's the case, but that's normally the conditions that I see that tend to cause it, especially if it's not in a location where you've had it in the past, right? So if all throughout your growing season, that's always a problem area, then I still would say that it's going to be like a water settling or like a damp area, a low area in the lawn. But send me a picture of it. We will take a look, and I will do my best to help you out. Good question. It's a good one. It's not one I've ever been asked before. It's a good question. And then, yes, I'll give you another LOL on Ron's expense at the year-round Christmas tree. Whatevs, man. You're just hating because you guys don't think about it. You guys aren't brave enough to have the year-round Christmas tree. See, I do it so you guys don't have to. All right, we got Roosevelt Jefferson. It's an awesome name. Roosevelt Jefferson. He says, "What's up, Ron? Happy holidays. Thanks so much, Roosevelt. Hope you're doing well, sir. Hope all is good, well with you." Kevin D. Jones. Here's the thing, Kevin. Look, man, it's trying times, man. You're saying go Dogs, but I just don't. I think the game is tomorrow, isn't it? Do we play Bama tomorrow? I think. Let me look this up. I'm trying to not. Let's see, Bulldogs. I think we play Alabama tomorrow. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow. Yeah. Play tomorrow. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see if Saban can go down, man. Normally, here's the thing. Georgia's had a perfect season, an awesome season, and they beat like every team they've played, fairly convincingly. Alabama had a really hard time last week, but anything can happen in football, man. And it's it's going to be interesting to see if this Georgia squad can finally get it done. It'd be nice, it'd be nice. I think the national championship would be amazing, but just beating Alabama, mainly so I can harass Perry and all these other people that come in here to always just saying roll tide. Just having 1 year where we can be proud of the Georgia Bulldogs. We're always proud of them, but to be really proud of them would be nice. We'll see. We'll see if they can hold it together. They can hold it together. There's no reason why they shouldn't win because they are a better team. We'll see. All right. Lone Star's in the house. He says, "Good night. Family blessings to each and everyone. Work kept me away. What's going on? Lone Star, I appreciate that. Thanks for coming to hang out and say hey." Palpamo's Low is also saying, "Yep." He's seconding that the Dogs hopefully can get it done this year. There's no reason not to. I mean, here's one of my good friends is a die-hard Georgia Bulldog fan. Like he's got like the tickets to Sanford Stadium. He always goes to the games. Like he travels around to go watch the Dogs play. This is how much this man loves the Georgia Bulldogs. And I was talking to him. When was it? Not yesterday, day before yesterday. He came over to visit, and he was saying that if this year we don't win, like he's gonna give up hope because there's no reason why it shouldn't happen. And what's interesting is he said that if they win, it's going to take some of the enjoyment out of being a Georgia fan because part of it is just always this like kind of like how LG is, guys. I mean, I'm not sure if he's still in the live stream. If he is, he probably not listening to this part anyway. You know how we always do the giveaways and how LG always tries his best. He does his best. He stands on one leg and does like the crane kick technique when we're doing the drawings. And most of the time, he just doesn't win. It's like that. I think Georgia fans we like getting close, but not kind of going over the edge. So if they win, it's gonna be such a new thing. It's not like we're not used to it. I mean, Bama fans are used to that. Patriots fans, well, not now, but they used to be used to that. But for Georgia, I don't know. I don't know what Georgia's gonna do if the Bulldogs actually pull it off. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. All right, and then Clayton is saying, avatar changes based on the Google account I'm logged into. Gym photo for my personal computer, corporate photo for work computer. I hear you. I got you. Okay, that makes sense. And Alex is chiming in. He says, I tend to start and end the seasons for both lawnmowers and snow blowers with ethanol-free gas. Would love to use it all the time, but would be incredibly costly. That's a good point. It is expensive to use ethanol-free gas all the time. Like around here you'll see on the pumps is like Rec 90. Like it's like they call it considered recreational fuel. So they charge like ridiculous amounts of money for it. It'll be, like all gas is expensive now, but it was easily 75 cents to $1 per gallon more than like 87. So yeah, using it all season long, while there probably are some benefits, I don't know that is, again, if you're running your mower all the time, your equipment all the time, I don't know that it's really worth it. Not to me anyway. All right, next up we got Adrian in the house. E says, you're awesome, Ron. Thank you so much, Adrian. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming to hang out. As always. And then next up, we got VMH in the house. It says, I have almost full coverage for Bermuda, no bare spot. It turns out very good for me. Good to control the crabgrass, so Bermuda has a chance to come in. Thanks a lot. Very cool. Yeah, so again, VMH was, he threw Celsius, he threw Conclorac. I forget what else he used. He was throwing, everything that Do My Owns pretty much cells that will kill crabgrass. This man probably had at some point. So it worked out. It worked out. Crabgrass is dying off or gone off, and Bermuda's taking its rightful position. And then Alex Lee is like, look at Alex. Alex is like, ooh, that camo. It is hot, right? It is cool. If you ever go out hunting and you also want to be all patriotic, you can be like, hunting and America. So yeah, man. And then you got the if it were somewhere cold, like if you were like a winter sportsman or outdoorsman, you got the winter camo. Around here it doesn't really work, but it looks cool. It looks cool. And then Alex B's not the worst idea. I have a real Christmas tree and a fake Christmas tree. Okay, first of all, let's adjust our verbiage. Fake. We're not going to say fake. We're going to say like non-natural. We can say, I don't know, environmentally friendly. We can say time saving, but fake, kind of implies that it doesn't bring the same joy, the same Christmas joy and experience as like a real, I say real tree. So you caught me doing it now. A tree that came from outside in nature, but to call it fake means like not genuine and not as good. And I think it's still good. It does the job. If I get some incense and burn some incense around there, like some pine, put some pine sol down or something, it's the same thing. You wouldn't even know the difference. But anyway, the rest of your comment says, in storing up the non-natural ones, shoving them back into boxes or containers can mess them up if not careful. You're right. That's the big thing. That's the big reason why I didn't do it, because you took it. It's almost like when you order something off of Amazon, it comes like with styrofoam all packed up. Like once you unpack it, good luck ever getting it back into the box, right? And the tree is the same way. Putting it up is like it's a hassle. Plus, think about it, more chance for injury, right? Am I right on that? When I pack it up, if I take it upstairs or put it up in the attic, I could get hurt. That wouldn't be good. More chance of damaging it. That wouldn't be good. So, leaving it there is better on all fronts, especially since I'm lazy and I don't like to have to go out and get the tree up and down all the time. All right, next up, we got Finn Cut in the house. He says, today I tried out my new mower. Sorry, not a real mower. Hey, still a mower, man. You're still out there mowing. Nothing wrong with that. It's a 22-inch Toro recycler with a striping kit. Stripes were straight. We're not straight, but had fun. Tomorrow I'll put down some lime. Yeah, man. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, you're rolling with the rotary, you're rolling with the rotary, and you got the striping kits. That's the big thing. I mean, I think we got pictures of Demir's lawn still on here. Actually, it's on this one. I can show you that, where you can see what, like, because he is a golf course superintendent, and he doesn't even have a real mower at home. I don't think he real mows all the lawn. And his lawn looks really good. If I can find, yeah, look at that. That's clean. I mean, that is cut with a rotary, if I'm not mistaken. So that looks really good, man. For being non-real mode, those stripes are on point. You know, you can't hate on that. Can't hate on that. And speaking of the man, we got Mr. Demir in the house. What's going on, Ron? Looking forward to a fun night of turf talk. What's going on, Demir? Thanks for coming to hang out as always. You know, I should get you to come in, man. You can come and take some of these hard questions. It'd be interesting to get your viewpoint on the difference, to answer that question, difference between algae, what was it, fungus, and what was the rest of the other question they had? It was, what's the difference between algae, moss, and fungus? It'd be interesting to get your take on the matter, Demir. Maybe topic for next week, or you want to, if you're not out like somewhere, you can always pop in. I think you still have the same link, but yeah. But cool. But yeah, thanks for coming to hang out, sir. Hope you're doing well. Hope Max is doing well, the spoiled puppy. And yeah, it should be a great time. And Kevin Jones says, no one has gently typed the like button. 15 likes, let's go. It's better. We're up to 44, but the like to people ratio is off, Kevin. You know, because you think about it. I mean, other than the diehards, most people come in, they come out of the live stream, they just kind of visit, stop in for a little bit. So for our like ratio to be below the number of people, it's not good, guys. It's not good. We got to get that up. It doesn't cost you guys anything either. It's free, completely free. All right, let's see. We got Kevin D. Jones says, okay, no, it's 16. No, we're at 44 now, so we're making progress. And yeah, you see, yes, we're having some going back and forth about holiday and whatnot, which is awesome. And guys, here's the thing: on the topic of holidays, guys, be safe out there. Like, if you guys have not been paying attention to the news, people are being silly and doing crazy stuff in crowded places. So if you go out, just be conscious of your surroundings and what's going on. Just be safe, and just I mean, obviously get out and do the things you want to do, but just be conscious of your surroundings and that kind of thing. So don't want any viewers or anyone really, but especially my viewers and anyone getting hurt due to people doing nonsense. So all right, next up we got Brick Rehab. It says, yes, decoration went up Saturday after Thanksgiving. Too many wires running through the yard now. We'll have to wait till January. Very cool. I gotta admit though, I do like how the lawn looks. Like in the neighborhood, they do all these trees, and they like each street has, they do like themes, decorations, and it looks awesome. It looks really, really good. I would love to participate, but I don't have any trees. There's like the Japanese maple in the front, but outside of that, there's nothing really to put trees on. I guess I could decorate the shrubs, but sounds like a lot of work. I think I'll just drive around and enjoy everyone else's stuff. I'm sure the neighbors like silently judge me. They're like, dude, bro, you can't even put up like a light bulb, like one ornament. You can't do like one lawn ornament, something. But we'll see. It probably won't happen, but there's still time. So don't count me out just yet. All right, Lois is up as well. She says, all my outside Christmas decorations went up the day after Thanksgiving, and I didn't take down my tree until last year, May. See, look at that. She probably wasn't turning her tree on, but I am not the only one that goes way past January as far as leaving the tree up. So it's not just me. You guys leave the hate out of the comments as far as that goes. So I'm guessing, Lois, you did not have an organic tree. I mean, I'm not going to use like the derogatory, like, the fake term referring to our Christmas trees, because if it say till May, I'm guessing it was not a real tree. I'm hoping it wasn't a real tree. It's probably looking kind of rough if it was a real tree still in the house by May, but maybe that's how you roll. All right. Alex says, definitely not definitive rule, and especially in colder climates. A lot of us tend to try and get the decorations done earlier before the super cold rolls in. At least in my area, we do. That makes sense. That does make sense. That I could see that if you can get them done like late fall, before there's tons of snow on the ground, less dangerous. And yeah, I could see that. Not as cold, less dangerous, and yeah, you can do a dry run. You can do test things out, make some tweaks if you want to. So that's a good point. I didn't think about it from that standpoint because it doesn't get crazy. It doesn't get crazy cold here in Georgia to where you can do it the day after Thanksgiving if you want, or day before Christmas if you want. We get snow here. I think last year, we had like 2 days of snow, or I think maybe it's technically 1 day of snow, but snow was on the ground for 2 days, and like the entire city just turns into it goes to chaos. All the bread gets bought up off the shelves, eggs are gone, people can't drive. It's just I'm sure Alex, you would make fun of us if you saw what happens to Atlanta whenever 2-3 inches of snow hit the ground. It's a mess. Absolute mess. All right. Let's see. Diane Marcel says, hey, Ron, what are your thoughts about leaf vacuums? Any recommendations? I don't have any on those. Are you talking about, as far as like actually sucking up the leaves, like a leaf vacuum or leaf blower? On either way, I don't have a recommendation on leaf vacuums. On blowers, I'm probably not the guy to ask because I don't have, the blower that I have is part of the Still Combi system. I'm not sure if I can show you guys. Like if you guys look at my video on like all my lawn equipment, you can see what the Still Combi system looks like, but I can show you, let's see, Still Combi blower attachment. Let's see what it looks like here. Yeah, it looks like that. If I can find a good picture of it. Maybe. That's not a great picture. Yeah, it looks like that. So this is what I use to blow off my lawn. So it's something like that, which is fine for just blowing stuff off a sidewalk. But if for like serious leaf work, like the guys that are like, if you have a lot of leaves in your lawn, then you're gonna probably want to invest in like a backpack unit, like something a little bit more heavy duty than that. Like that's fine for light work, but for a lot of again heavy leaf cleanup, like a full size blower is going to be a better fit for most people. It's be a better fit for most people. And as far as a vacuum, I've not seen one of those or used one of those, so I can't really recommend one. It seems like a leaf vacuum, you'd spend more time emptying it than you would actually, sucking up leaves. I guess unless you had like a really, really big bag catcher or something, it seems like you spend a whole lot of time just emptying the thing out all the time. But yeah. All right, Vance Woods. Vance Woods says, me. So Vance, you still have your lawn is still all green, looking awesome this time of year, even now. Oh, you're probably South Florida, and yeah, NASCAR for Life says same thing. Me, South Florida here. So yeah, so that's a good question. So in South Florida, does your grass really change at all? Like, does it fall off at all? As the wintertime rolls around. I mean, I know it probably doesn't go dormant, but does it look, somewhat close to how it does in the summertime, or is there a bit of a change in South Florida whenever your grass as winter rolls around? Be interesting to find out. And then JD's like, nope, 90% dormant in Tennessee. So you and me are on the same wavelength. I'm probably not quite at 90%, maybe 70%, but it's quickly going there. And if I mow this weekend, it will completely go dormant then. Like I'll knock off a little bit of green that's left, and it'll go to sleep. Rick Rehab is saying, yep, grass is mostly green. Shaded areas fading faster in North Texas. And Maurice is saying, yep, Zoysia is still 70% green in Smyrna, Georgia. Yeah, so Zoysia hangs out, holds up a bit better. Like it's true, even like the planter, even like Karen, the grass and the little planter there, it held out better than Leroy did. Leroy was like, it's getting cold, I'm done, see you next year. But the Zoysia, the compadre Zoysia, it has been holding out. Like I don't think the compadre is even fully dormant as yet. It's not fully dormant as yet. So I believe that the Zoysia does better than Bermuda, Maurice. Very cool. And then Mr. Noob, hey there, Ron, me. And then Nils says, me, Netherlands. So the Netherlands, I guess you just have cool season. I'm sure it's cool season grass. But I wonder what kind of grass you guys have that's still green this time of year. Interesting. Probably some kind of rye or something, I'm guessing. All right, next up we got Martin Mueller in the house. He says, hey, Ron, enjoy your show as always. Yes, it is unseasonably warm and dry in Iowa this fall. Alice Gutmartin. Yep. So that's cool, man. So I guess you guys are, yeah. So I guess JG was not trolling me then. It truly is warm, unseasonal. You know what? Let me look in here. Let me look up what's the temperatures in, what is a good city in Iowa? Let's see, weather.com. Let's see, is it Des Moines? Because Des Moines is Iowa. Des Moines is a city. I don't know. I don't really know any other cities in Iowa. So let's see. Des Moines, Iowa. Make sure you guys aren't messing with me here. It says it's 46. 46 and 50s. Wow, I wouldn't have thought that. Yeah, so 45 degrees this morning. In the afternoon, it got to 56 degrees. So it's about like it's cooler than here, but not crazy. Not that much cooler. Huh. Interesting. All right, and then Lois is like, I like my hat. The hair fits under it. That's cool. I'm glad that you like it, and you're very, very welcome, Lois. Wear it with pride. And then next up, JC saying, what up, Ron? I have tall fescue, and it's all green here in Massachusetts. I can see that. So in your case, JC, because I don't have tall fescue grass. I guess is it ever going to fall off, or does it? Does it take like a hard, heavy snow to cause the fescue to go away? So yeah, if so, I guess be interesting to know. All right, and next up we have Demir chime in. He says, weather has been insane in Colorado. 70s and 60s. 70s and 60s in Colorado? Wow, that's great. That is wild. 30 to 40 degrees above average. Still mowing. Yard looks like late spring green. I'll send you a pic from last weekend. Dude, that's crazy. So that's interesting, Demir. So with the temps being that high, and obviously you're not on right now on the live stream to where you could answer this, but does that mess up what you guys are doing with your with the golf course program, with your golf program? I know you guys had the greens all covered, but with it being the 60s and 70s, I would think I'm not sure. I mean, I think that would perhaps have an adverse effect on the greens, like staying asleep or the grass going to sleep, but maybe not. Maybe not. Be interesting to find out. It's 30 to 40 degrees above average. That's insane. It's quite a bit. We got to get you back on again, man. You got to let me know when your schedule will permit. We'll have to get out here and chop it up about turf care again. Troy's in the house. Says, hey, Ron, how everyone? I think everyone's doing fairly well. Most people, other than, obviously like Demir and people in the northern states, all of us are like just sitting there looking at our grass and moping and waiting for spring to roll around. I get to be that crazy person out here mowing brown grass here soon. So, but yeah, other than that, I think everyone is doing fairly well. And Clayton, he says, front Bermuda is brown, but tight and trim. Zoysia is still green in the back. And then Thin Cut is saying, even though my grass is dormant, I can see the stripes. I still got some stripe action. I do. I still got some stripes. I mean, they're dormant stripes, but they are still there. So that is a thing, Thin Cut. And then Clayton Nichols is in the house. He says, Monaco, Bermuda, down in Abilene, Texas, is still growing strong. 86 degrees today. Wow, that is insane. 86 degrees. Wow. He says, hope you're having a blessed night. Hit that like button ever so gently. I appreciate it, sir. I appreciate it. Yeah, I am doing well. 86 degrees in December is craziness, man. That's crazy talk. It's crazy talk. But I guess your lawn still looks green because of it. So that's pretty cool. All right, and then Alex, the same thing. Fairly clean, fairly green. Only a few dormant spots starting. The property line against my neighbors shows that I am winning right now. And NASCAR for Life has a question about herbicide Celsius. He says, can Celsius be used on St. Augustine and Bermuda? I have one type in the front and the other in the back. Celsius, yes. So Celsius is safe for all warm season grass types other than Bahia, if memory serves me. I had the label memorized when I was doing all the preparation for the video, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. Bahia is the one thing you can't. You're not supposed to put Celsius on, so don't do that. But yeah, outside of that, yeah, as far as St. Augustine and Bermuda, you're absolutely good to go. So as far as that's a good point. So on the topic of like herbicides, if you want a really good one to invest in, Celsius is a good choice. Like one container of it for most people, especially if you're using it just for spot spraying, is going to last you, it's going to last you years and years and years and years. When I was talking to one of the guys at Site One, he said he has a container that was like 9 years old. Because it just shows you once you get the weeds under control, right? If in year one, let's say you may be doing a major lawn renovation. Year one, you might do several blanket sprays, and that will probably use more of it. But once you get the lawn under control, you get your pre-emergent down, you're mowing regularly. you really shouldn't need it that much. You know, you really shouldn't need to be blasting the lawn with post-emergent herbicides all the time. So, but yeah, if you're gonna pick one, that's a good one to get. NASCAR for life. All right, next up we got Justin Aguilar. He says, yeah, 65% green in Midland, Texas. My neighbor's grass is dormant. It's funny, I always say that the in the lawn care community, right? So the people that are into their lawns, you're all competitive because so here's the thing. I didn't ask you guys how your neighbors' lawns are looking. You guys are like saying, oh yeah, I'm 65% dormant, but my neighbors, 100% dormant. I am winning that. So it just shows how competitive you guys are. Even with your grass turning brown, you still want to dominate, even this time of year. All of you, the whole bunch of you, are all a bunch of super competitive. But yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be like watching a lawn care live stream on Friday nights and spending all the time and money that you do on having a green lawn, right? You expect to dominate. So, but I'm glad, Justin. I'm glad that you are ahead of the neighbor. That all your hard work, over the season has got you, in the lead on that front, which is really, really cool. All right, Dalvin. Oh, seed heads. Oh yeah, he says. So Dalvin says, yeah, it was seed heads that was killing me. I split the soil test and did 2 separate tests for front and back and figured it out there. Grass responded so well, it didn't want to go to sleep. Yeah. So that's what. So you had the seed head issue. Because you were saying, yeah, because I did the video on seed heads, I think in June-ish, and you're saying, I don't get it, man. It's like July and I still got seed heads. And then we figured it out and like your nutrient levels are way off because really seed heads come from, it's a stress response from the grass, right? So in most cases, for most people, of course, obviously Dalvin is like that one exception. Most people have seed head issues, or not, I say issues, but they see seed heads in their lawn when temperatures begin to, there's a noticeable temperature change. So around here in Georgia, June-ish is when you're going to start seeing seed heads for a few weeks. But when the temps transition out of spring temps, 50s, 60s, 70s occasionally into like 70s, 80s consistently, that's when you're going to start seeing a couple of weeks of seed heads. So it tends to be a stress response. But in Dalvin's case, it's going to be a stress response or a nutrient deficiency. In most cases, it's just response to temp changes. In Dalvin's case, which we found out from soil testing, his nutrient levels were just out of whack. And once he got that going, as he's saying, the lawn, it was super happy and would not go to sleep. So yeah, if you got some weird issues in your lawn, you can't figure it out, get a soil test. Might give you the answers to the test. Girls lawn. I'm doing better. I didn't say girls LZ lawn like I've done in the past. Like, because reading is hard. Girls lawn, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for coming to hang out in the live stream. I appreciate you. As always, thanks for coming to taking some time out. All right, next up, we got Gary Kellett Jr. in the house. He says, hey, Ron, I just put together my 2022 fertilizer schedule. I'm going with Yard Mastery Fertilizer. But what do you know about Anderson Fertilizer? I was thinking of switching up for next year. Thanks. I don't know a lot about it from personal experience. I've not heard anything negative. Like some people say they tend to be a bit more pricey, but that's the only, and I hate to even say negative, right? Because something costs more doesn't necessarily mean that that's a negative thing. Like if it's a better product, if the ingredients are better, if like everything about it, the formulation's better, the way it breaks down is better, then it should cost more, right? Because it's a superior product. But that's the only thing I've really heard. I don't have any direct experience with it, Gary, to be able to say yay or nay. But the people that use Anderson's fertilizers seem to like them. I've not really heard people say, I use this stuff and it didn't work for me. The only thing I hear is cost. That's the only I'd say negative that I really hear about those products. But yeah, I mean, people that use them seem to really like them a lot. So yeah, if you want to try something out next year, go for it. Yeah, if you want to switch it up, you can do that. I mean, here's the thing: if you got a formulation that's working, if the Yard Mastery products are doing or producing the result you want, maybe just get like a bag of the fertilizer you're looking to try out and introduce it like 1 month and see if there's any kind of visual difference before you go, hog wild and just throw out what's been working for something that might be a bit of a bit of a question mark. So that'd be the only advice I'd give you. All right, JG said that Ron Henry, LG so well. Oh, I believe it. I can only imagine the antics that are going on whenever we are doing a drawing or whatever. It's always, I'm sure if he doesn't win, it's like, see, I told you, I should have waited 5 minutes later to put my comment in. Then the random thing would have got me. I'm sure there's a lot of, tasteful belly aching going on whenever he does not get, he doesn't win. All right. Kevin D. Jones says, Ron, so the car's not E85. Yeah. The Supra does not have an E85 tune on it. It is tuned, like the base tune is for 93, but I have JB4. But for you guys that are into like BMWs or which the Supra basically is, like one of the maps that they offer is like map 6, which is like a custom tunable map, and that map allows me to run a little bit more ignition timing. So if I go and put like a couple of gallons of E85 in it, then the car gets it's already quick, but it gets nasty. It gets on like trying to kill you status, which is kind of a fun way to drive a car every now and then, not all the time, but that's reserved for whenever I put E85 in it. So yeah, it's not running on full E85, mainly because that's, unless you are trying to make like big power. When I say big power in a street car, like 700 plus, right? 700 plus wheel horsepower. There's not a really good reason to run E85 all the time, because you get horrible fuel economy. I mean, it's cheaper, but you go through it. It takes 30% more E85, thereabouts, 30 to 40% more E85 to get the same energy as regular gasoline. So it's not if you drive your car a lot, it's not fun, because you have to fill up a lot more often. But it's like, as far as like making big power on the cheap, pretty awesome. It's like, I guess, poor man's race gas. So, but yeah, it's like a mix. It's got a tune that can take advantage of ethanol, but it's not full E85 all the time. All right, next up we have Turtles Turf Fire Lawns. It's an awesome, dude. This is an awesome avatar. I love it. Turtles Turf Fire Lawns. So like almost like you're a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan. It says, how to tackle this new 2-acre lawn. I just got a 54-inch Toro zero turn for your rider. Need some bulk weed treatments and a good seed recommendation for North New Jersey. For seed recommendations, again, I don't have cool season grass. All I can tell you is that Baron Brug, a lot of people seem to like that grass seed. So if I were going to recommend, assuming you can get it in quantities that make sense for 2 acres, that's one that I get a lot, or people that use it tend to have good things to say about it. So that's something for option. As far as bulk weed treatments, for 2 acres, man, I'm not sure. I don't know that. I mean, I don't know what size Tenacity comes in. Like Tenacity Speed Zone for cool season grass is a good concoction. It's a good blend that is like does really good job as far as like broad level, like as far as broad coverage for weed control. But I don't know how economical it is to. I mean, on 2 acres, I mean, if that's all you have and you're only doing like one or 2 applications, Tenacity should do the trick. And I think it comes in bigger volumes. Yeah, it comes in an 8-ounce bottle. But I'm not sure how much that covers, but it should cover 2 acres. I'm pretty sure you should probably get 2 acres out of it. I'm looking at the label here really quick to see if I can get you an answer. Any of you cool season guys, Demir, anyone you guys, come to my aid, man. Help me out here. How much coverage you get out of a bottle of Tenacity? Yeah, so here we go. Yeah, so I'm wrong. So it's apply Tenacity at 5 to 8 fluid ounces per acre and at least 30 gallons of water. So if it's an 8-ounce container, you're going to need 2 bottles for 2 acres. So one of these will do an acre, depending on how with the concentration you're going with. So you'll need like 2 bottles of it to get to cover that. And that's not a bad deal. I mean, because Tenacity is not that expensive. It's like what, $70 thereabouts. So that's not a bad deal for covering 2 acres. And if you want, shameless plug, trying to pay the bills, in the off season, if you need to order some Tenacity at Turtles, you can use my link. There it is. And for 2 acres, you're going to need 2 bottles, assuming you are going at max rate and you're going to do multiple applications. So there might be some other herbicides that are as good, more cost effective. Again, it depends on what you're trying to treat. But if you're just saying like broad level, like something that will knock out most things, Tenacity with some Speed Zone should do the ticket. So yes, we got you covered on the seed recommendation. We got you covered on the herbicide. And you know what? Even though it's not a real mower, we're still gonna clap it up for you getting the 54-inch Toro zero turn. We're gonna still gotta recognize that. You gotta recognize new hardware. And then brick rehab. See, being all mean, saying, yeah, fake. Call it fake. It's not fake. It is not a fake tree. Here's the thing. If I turn my tree on and you drove by, I mean, you would know because I just told you, but if someone drove by, they cannot tell that it is not it is not an organic Christmas tree. So it serves the purpose. So for you calling it the F word is not nice. Be nice. It's not fake. It's just it's not organic. I'm just gonna go with that. Not organic. And so next up, we got Turf Turtles is back. He says, probably going tall fescue with rye for quick germination, and unfortunately going to have to change the way I cut and go high at 4 inches. Yeah, I mean, but that's cool, man. I mean, fescue mowed tall looks good. It actually looks really, really nice. So nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. And then Wind Chariot. See, here's all the. I knew it. You know what? You guys are supposed to be nice. I knew I shouldn't have said that I have a non-organic Christmas tree, because now even Wind Chariot is turning on me. Industrial imitation Christmas tree. Yeah, the best China has to offer, right? So. And here's all the lights in it are so good. Here's the thing. I don't have to go out and take lights and string them all around the tree. The lights work perfectly fine. There's not a single bulb that's burnt out. I can, it's got like multiple patterns and everything like that. All you gotta do is decorate it and you're good to go. So do not hate on my, non-organic tree. It's got some benefits. You gotta try it out. Don't knock it till you try it. Don't knock it till you try it. And yeah, and right, Daryl, a little bit of pine sol, you can't tell the difference. People walk in, they won't even know the difference. So there you go. All right, DW Davis is here. He says, I am here and I hit that like button ever so gently. I appreciate the support, DW. Thanks so much for the support. It's also free for you to do and gives me a chance to sip my my lemonade. Great stuff. All right, Daryl is in the house. He says, Ron, I used my aeration course to fill in low spots this season and it worked great. I'll be doing the same thing next season. I own my own aerator. So cool. That's awesome. That's a good idea. So me, I just leave the cores on the lawn and let them break down. But that's a good idea too. I guess you could group them all up. And when they break down, you'll have like a small dirt mound, right? And you could use that. You can spread it around in the lower areas. So yeah, I can't hate on you, man. Whatever you're doing, Daryl, it obviously works. I think I also got pictures of your lawn. Daryl, I'm gonna let you relive. I'm gonna let you relive some of your summer glory right now. Let's see if it'll load up. So yeah, so whatever you're doing, it's working. So if you repurposing your cores is working, keep rolling with it, man. Keep rolling with it. And having your own aerator is also really cool. Aerator wouldn't be bad. I'm trying to think of where I would put one now. I probably could find a spot for it. If I had an aerator, I would aerate more often. I definitely would aerate more often. Then we'd be doing Alex's lawn, and just sounds like a lot more work. But yeah, if I had one, I would core aerate outside of just top dressing. All right. Next up, DW Davis comes in. He says, "Great strategy, Daryl Tunstall. I'll do the same." Oh no, that's wrong comment. DW Davis says, "I'd like to hear about top dressing and specs. Does it have to be real specific?" I think Demir is chiming in on this one. Let me see if he has a answer. Actually, yeah, we'll do that. He's saying, DW Davis, not unless you're top dressing a green. I use mason sand for your home lawn. That's what I use on tests. Fairways and approaches. So there you go. So yeah, mason sand will work well. On home lawns, I also like to mix a bit of organic material in with it. You can do topsoil, like screen topsoil. Don't use like regular Home Depot topsoil. Is going to have like chunks of bark and stuff in it. Don't get that kind of trash. But if you can get like screen topsoil or screen compost, I like a 70-30 blend. But you can also go 100% sand too. Like with Alex's lawn, we've done both. We've done a blend and we've done mason sand, and he's gotten a great result both ways. So yeah, it doesn't. I don't think it really matters as much as your technique, right? So one thing I'm not a fan of, even though you can get away with Bermuda, is not burying the lawn. Like some people will beach the lawn, they'll cover the entire thing in sand where you can't see any grass. And while Bermuda tends to survive that, it takes it longer to grow through, and if you get any amount of rain, you're going to create a huge mess for yourself. So the only thing I would say that you should be specific about when it comes to top dressing is not going too heavy as far as the amount of material that you put down. I like the guidance of 1 cubic yard per 1,000 square feet is a good guideline to go by, because it's enough to do a good job doing it with the top dressing, but not so much that you can create a problem for yourself by going too heavy in the lawn. All right, Demir's talking about pea spots. He says, "Great strategy, Daryl Tunstall. I do the same with pea burn spots that come out of the winter rough. I'll seed the spots and cover them with my spring aeration cores. It's a good idea. Very, very cool. Very cool, Demir. So it sounds like you and Daryl are on the same wavelength. Awesome stuff. And next up, Turtles Turf Fire Lawns is back and says, I top dressed my lawn for a few years in the past at my old place, used mason sand and a leveling rake, seeded and topped with peat moss. Very cool. Yeah, so here's the thing. Every year I've said I'm not, in the past couple of years, I said like this year, I planned the top dress because I wanted to film, get like a really good top dressing video out. So it was fun to do it this year. And every year, like if you ever own a leveling rake, like I've had a viewer email me and someone also in the comments have said, you know, if I buy a leveling rake, it's like $130, $140. I'm only going to use it once. Believe me, once you have one, right? And once you get that taste of leveling and you like the way the lawn looks, you're going to do it more than once. There's always going to be a small area to touch up, do some spot leveling. It's something you're always going to, it's a piece of equipment you're going to make use of. If you get really crazy heavy rains, a leveling rake is really good for breaking up like those grass clumps, like the zebra stripes that you see in your lawn that form from a lot of the dead grass clippings. So for anyone that's serious about their home lawn, leveling rake is a great investment. So I was just thinking about a comment from one viewer where there's that from this week that I was going back and forth with them, and when you mentioned leveling rake, I said I should probably talk about that because it's something that people have this misconception that if they get a leveling rake, all it's good for is leveling. You'll only use it once, and then it's going to be sitting in the garage collecting dust, which is really not the case for most people. But yeah, your process sounds pretty good, man. The one thing I've never done, I've never used peat moss. Whenever I've seeded, I tend to do my top dressing, put the seed down, and then I just take the leveling rake and just drag over the entire lawn just to cover it up a bit. And I've gotten pretty good results. You know, hard to say if I'd used peat moss, I've gotten even better results. But yeah, I've never actually used peat moss. But thanks for sharing your process, Turtles Turf Fire Lawns. Appreciate you. And then Kevin D. Jones is chiming in about that question about the lawn vacuum. He says, at Diane Marcel, I have a Billy Goat leaf vacuum, and it saves a ton on the back end, saves time if you don't want to mulch the leaves back into your lawn. I'm almost curious to know what this leaf vacuum looks like. Sounds like a pretty involved piece of equipment. Yeah, so it looks, I see Ryobi, but he's saying he has the Billy Goat. So we can find a picture of the Billy Goat one. Oh, wow, that's some serious hardware, man. Good grief. Wow. You're not messing around, man. But yeah, so I'll show you guys what Kevin is working with here. He is talking about this. That is, man, that's when you know you're seriously hardcore about your lawn care when you got something like that. Okay, so question then, Kevin. I can see how it saves time because you're putting everything into the bag. You don't have to pick it up. But I mean, doesn't that bag get really heavy? I guess. What do? Do you just kind of you fill it up and you just roll it over, and then I guess maybe it has a release on the bottom where it dumps out in an area or something like that. Because I hope you don't have to remove the bag when it's full of leaves and carry it. But yeah, I mean, it's like a cool piece of equipment. So there you go. For the person that has every lawn care, every piece of lawn care equipment, there you go. Get yourself a leaf vacuum for only the fair web price of $1,814.28. Yes, that costs more than I thought it would. But yeah, very, very cool. I learned something new. A leaf vacuum. Okay, NASCAR Life is just talking about something. He says it slows growing, but green all around. I'm not sure what we're talking about. NASCAR. Oh, you're saying, yeah. So I asked the question about your lawn going dormant, and you're saying in southern Florida, it doesn't grow as quickly, but it's green year round, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's cool, but it's also a lot of work. Like I'm trying to think, like, would I really want my lawn to never go dormant? I don't know, man. That's I mean, it'd be cool from an experimentation standpoint, right? Because you have the entire year. Like if you try something and it doesn't work out the way you want, you know, the lawn it's going to recover. It's only like a 2 or 3 week problem. But then that means you also have to get out there and mow year round, which would be, I don't know if that would be fun. So yeah, I'm not sure. Even if I could have the lawn green year round, I don't know that I would want it to be. That I would want that. All right, next up we got Manchester Shoals saying they are not available for purchase at the moment, but I'm thinking about buying the Yard Mastery sprayer. Ron, how was the build, parts, and battery life compared to the other sprayers you've used? I'm a big fan of the Yard Mastery sprayer, Manchester. You know, if you've ever used any of the flow zone sprayers, it's like that. They're built really, really well. It's built like a tank. It feels like a really solid piece of equipment. The battery life, I think what I ran like 6 tanks or something or through it, of water through it. And then did another. So what I did is I did a calibration test before at the start, and then ran 6 tanks of water through this to the sprayer, and did a calibration test afterwards, and I got the same results. Like there wasn't a material drop off in the amount of product that it was putting out. So it's more than adequate for anyone for home lawns. Because in my case, I can do my entire, depends on what I'm mixing and what the rates I'm using, but I can use 3 backpack sprayers, 3 tanks to cover my entire lawn, which is now just under around 11,000 square feet, thereabouts. So for most home lawns, you figure if you're going to use it a couple of times, if you're going to use it a couple times a month and only charge it once a month, you'd be good to go on that. And as I was showing in the video that I did the review on, the battery is the same. It's the same mounting system, same voltage as the Yard Mastery. I'm sorry, as the Flow Zone Typhoon 2 batteries. If you need longer runtime, you can drop that in there. But yeah, it's a great sprayer. What would I say as negatives? Not a ton really. There's less padding on the back of it than the Flow Zone, but it kind of has to be that way because whereas the battery mounts on the front on the tank of the Flow Zone, on the Yard Mastery sprayer it mounts on the back, so it's like recessed actually into the tank. So if you had like a big pad on the back, like you'd have to figure out some kind of way to remove that padding before you got the battery in and out. It'd be kind of a pain. So I can see why it doesn't have the thick padding, but if I had to say anything, the padding could be a bit better. But I mean, you got to figure for like just under $300, you get more like a higher flow rate than the Flow Zone Typhoon 2. And it comes with the T-Jet nozzles. So that's saving you, between the fittings and the nozzles, like $30-$40 there. So yeah, if I were in the market right now for a higher end sprayer, that is what I would go with. I would get the Yard Mastery. If I had the choice between the Flow Zone and the Yard Mastery, and they both cost the same thing. The Flow Zone, by the way, last time I checked, was actually more expensive. I would choose the Yard Mastery because it's got everything you need. It's like buy it and then you're good to go. So I'd wait till they come back in stock again and go with that one. That is what I would do. All right, Thin Cut is saying front yard is 90% dormant, backyard 50% dormant here in North Carolina. All right, very cool. And then Demir is chiming in saying, nope, it doesn't mess with anything. Oh yeah, this is the question I asked him about with the temperature getting higher. Does it cause problems with the greens being covered or anything you're doing in your winter program? And he's saying, nope, it doesn't mess up with anything. We just water more frequently with the frost-free lines. Cool. That's why I thought I saw that. I think in Instagram you did, or somewhere I saw a post where you're saying, great day for winter watering or something like that. I saw you guys running irrigation. I was like, huh, kind of odd they're running irrigation like in the dead of winter, and also didn't realize it was 70 degrees where you were. So that answers that. All right. DW Davis is saying it is 73 degrees in Carbondale, Illinois, and the yard is green. That's pretty awesome, man. Glad to hear that it's 70 degrees out today. Nice weather. Sounds good. Let me get down here. We got a super chat from the man from the notorious Mr. Josh Shabib.
Super chat received.
He says, happy Friday, doctor. Going to drop this 20 here as a contribution for your booze consumption late tomorrow night. Okay, Josh, look, man. You guys, Alabama has won. I mean, I don't know how many championships you guys have at this point, but you guys have won. You guys have beat Georgia more times than we beat you guys in the last 10 years. I mean, it's safe to say that. Can we have one? Can we just have just this one? I mean, you can even say, well, let me give you the excuse. We can even say, hey, Alabama doesn't have a good team this year. They're not at their fine. They're not in top form. We'll even take like a sandbag beat of Alabama. We just want to beat them. I mean, why you got to come in here with Roll Tide and all this kind of, it's just not nice. Let's just for this one time, let us have this win. Please, pretty please. Can we do that just this once? I am doing well, sir. I appreciate the super chat. And again, as always, thanks for coming hang out in the live stream. And thanks for all the cool merch and all the stuff, all the cool stuff. Guys, here's the thing. All the cool hats that you guys see, I am not creative enough to do that kind of stuff. I'm decent at video somewhat, but as far as like looking at like a hat and saying, you know, this would look cool, not so much. But fortunately for you guys, Josh is, again, this shirt that I'm wearing, also a Josh Habib creation. That's 1600. It's pretty cool, right? So yeah, be sure you guys definitely give Josh a good thanks to for all he does for the channel and for all the cool swag that he provides. I'm able to give away to you guys, so which is really cool. Even though he's a Bama fan, I don't even know if he's really a Bama fan. I think he just wants to harass me and just terrorize me is what it is. I think he's secretly a Georgia Bulldog fan. It's okay, Josh. And if you are a Bama fan, after the beatdown, the abuse you're about to throw down tomorrow, I think you'll probably come around. You come around to that red and black, man. You'll do it. You come around. Hope is strong. We just better not lose, because if we lose, I'm not sure if you want to have the live stream next week, because the amount of grief I'm going to catch is going to be so bad, right? So Georgia, you guys better win. If any of you guys are watching this, probably not, but if any of you guys are watching this, please, for the love of everything sacred, please win tomorrow. All right. Next up, we got Daryl saying, Iran, this is the first time I didn't get tiger stripes on my Bermuda grass. Maybe it's the lower cut. Here in Mississippi, I have spots of dormancy. Still have green in areas. Yeah, I still have green in my areas, and that is a thing, Daryl. When you maintain your grass short and you're mowing very frequently, you got to think about it, right? Like a lot of the tiger stripes that show up are grass clippings, like dead grass that hasn't broken down yet. So when you have a really heavy rain, they float and they all kind of they coalesce and kind of just get like they form like the lines, right? But if you're mowing frequently to where you're taking out just a teeny bit, those small grass clippings break down a lot faster, so you're reducing the chance of getting stripes in your lawn. And if you do get them, they tend to be a lot thinner instead of like the big, really thick ones that you get, if you're mowing your grass like once a week, once every 2 weeks, that kind of thing. So, but yeah, man, you and I think your lawn is probably doing a bit better than mine as far as green this time of year. I still have some green, but it's definitely further down the dormancy track than the green track for sure. But yeah, man, thanks for letting me know. Thanks for chiming in. Turtles Turf Sale says he's still green, or they're still green in North and New Jersey, Sussex County. I'm not sure where Sussex County is, but it's Jersey, so it's up north there somewhere. And he says it never goes brown up here. Never goes brown. And you have never goes brown. Cool. And then Nils is saying in the Netherlands they have ryegrass, red fescue. Cool. Red fescue. I don't know what that. I have to look up red fescue. I've never heard of that one, red fescue. It looks kind of like fescue, but I guess a reddish tinge to it. But yeah, cool. That's cool. Very cool, Nils. Very, very good. All right, JG says, at Ron Henry, we had the highs in the higher 60s this past week. 1 day of snow. This is all this far. Wow, that's crazy. Only 1 day of snow this year. Was lucky to be in Vegas and missed that day, though. That's cool. That's pretty awesome that you got out of the you're out in Vegas, and hopefully you guys won or saw some shows or whatever it is you get into in Vegas. So yeah, good time. And Alex B is saying at Demir, wow, seems crazy above normal. We had way over average temps for big stretches of October and November here in northern New Jersey, but cold kicked in lately. Yeah, 70s and 80s in, I think that's what he said. Anyway, 70s this time of year in Colorado is definitely abnormal. I wonder if that's probably going to hurt the ski resorts, I imagine, right? I mean, I guess they said to be up the mountains, but I mean, 70s can't be good for that business, I wouldn't think. Can't be good. All right, next up, we got two Trilla in the house. He says, hey, Ron, my soil test results came in, and they are better than I thought they would be. Everything is green, but nitrogen, copper, iron, and boron are low. Can I use the 1608 or should I use a 1600? You can use a 1608 to Trilla. I would not do that now. I would not address nitrogen in your lawn now because the grass isn't growing. There's no reason to do that. As far as the boron, the copper, the micronutrients, there are a couple of ferts that contain those, but I tend to go the liquid route for those. What I would recommend, I'll show you here, the product called Nutrizolve. We carry it in the golf course lawn store. So if you scroll down, I actually need to change that banner, but yeah, if you scroll down here in the golf course lawn store, this nutrient stack, or this micronutrient fert has all of them, right? So your boron, your copper, your iron, molybdenum, manganese, zinc, pretty much everything. It's got everything in it. Most fertilizers, as far as micronutrient, a lot of time they will have, or most cases they will have. They'll obviously have iron because everyone associates iron with deep green grass. Iron, you maybe get some zinc in there. But a lot of times, like the core, the boron, the copper, the micros are often absent. But this product has all of them, and it's foliar, so it doesn't take very long for you to for the plant to be able to take advantage of it. So yeah, if you're looking for an option, Nutrisolve is great. 1608 would work well. 1600 is fine too. It depends. If your potassium levels are normal, you can go with the 1600, but I'm a fan of putting a bit of potassium in. It's just good for the overall health of the grass, when it's actively growing. And 8% isn't a ton of potassium. Anyway, so yeah, I mean either one will work. 1600 is fine, but I would lean more towards the 1608. If it were me, that is what I would do. All right, look at you guys are all having a moment. We're talking about different parts of New Jersey. So Morris County. Okay, you guys are close. You guys should hang up. You guys says I'm in Sussex. We got to chat offline. So there you go. Part of the live stream. Making lawn care geek connections. Kind of a side benefit, right? All right, Mr. Noob says, happy holidays, Ron. Sent you a picture of my real mode St. Augustine. You did. I think I showed that. Didn't I show that? I think I showed a picture of your real mode St. Augustine. It looks really cool. It was I think if I remember right, didn't you send me a picture? It had like a fountain, like a lawn fountain in it, I think. And and you showed me that picture. It looks really good. I don't know if I've got that picture handy. I don't know if I have it handy here, but I do remember the picture. I do remember the picture that you sent to me. I'm looking here through all of these, and I don't see it. Yeah, but I do remember that. Yeah. So yeah, you proved that you canned real Mo St. Augustine because it looks really good from what I remember. So awesome stuff. All right. Thin Cut is chiming in. It says 3 people on the street working on our lawns. At least I think there's an unspoken. There's an unspoken competition. Warm season lawns and 2 warm season lawns and 1 cool season grass. Next year, with your advice, I dominate. Here's the thing. I gotta tell you. Whenever here's the thing. I may or may not be guilty of this, and somehow I think in this group I'm probably in safe company admitting this. But whenever I hear like a lawnmower crank up outside, I do kind of look out the window and see who's mowing. I take a quick peek. So with Alex, I can tell because the True Cut has a distinct sound. Like there's not really any other mower that really sounds like it. So I can tell because Alex is mowing. But if someone else is like mowing, and it's not like a zero turn from one of the lawn care services, like someone that just pays to get their lawn cut once a week, every 2 weeks, or whatever. I may or may not kind of look outside and see, take a look at the grass, see if they're mowing. And I'm thinking, well, do I need to mow today? I mean, the answer is always yes, right? But I mean, is it going to make a material difference if I mow today? I hear you, Thin Cut. I think we tend to. It is not uncommon that if I break out my mower, like 20 minutes or so into mowing, I hear another mower in the area crank up too. So it's yeah, I mean, and here's the thing. Here's the thing. I am not competing with anybody. I am not formally competing with anyone. And, I'm not. I want everyone to have great looking grass. So I think you're right. I mean, there is a certain, a certain synchronization that tends to happen with mowing if people are really into their lawns, or if one person starts mowing, other people start mowing too. So yeah, it's not just in your area. All right. And then Mr. Noob is saying, yep. He says with your decorations. Yeah. So you are the one that I remember, and it's still green. That's cool, man. Very, very cool. And then Jim Carson, he is also saying it's 91 degrees in SoCal 2 days ago. Wow. Yeah. That's, well, I mean, Southern California, you're almost, maybe not necessarily desert, but it's you're close to, you're near Mexico. So I could see that. I could still see it being warm. 91 degrees seems a bit high, but I could imagine that it would still be warm this time of year. Static Alpha is saying, now, hey, Ron, my soil test came in. I'm pretty much perfect across the board based on the Texas Extension Office. How long until those numbers wear out? I know there are variables, but any ideas? So here's the thing, people fall into two categories when they get their soil test, right? It's either like depression, like, man, my soil is so bad, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Or you have this case, Static Alpha, he's like, everything looks really good. And what I'm kind of reading in the, maybe I'm wrong on this, probably am, is like, hey, how soon, I know it's perfect now, but it's obviously not going to stay perfect. And, I got to put something down. So how long do you think these numbers are going to be good for? So I put some nitrogen down or some, put something down. I got to go throw something down the lawn. How long do you think? It's hard to say, Static Alpha, depending on what you're using in the lawn, like what kind of fertilizer you're using. In my case, every month, I am adding nutrient. I'm adding a granular and I'm spoon feeding with liquid a couple times throughout the month. If you're using a quick release fertilizer, I'd say monthly, right? Once the lawn is actively growing, I'd say monthly, feed the lawn, assuming that's the program that you're on. Whatever you're doing, right? Whatever you're doing seems to be working. So whatever cadence you had for your fertilization, like applying products to the lawn, I would just maintain that. If you like the way the grass looks and based on your soil test results, everything is looking good, I would just maintain and just keep doing next year what you've already done, this year. So that answer your question is it depends. It depends on like what fertilizer you're using, how long it's designed to last, how long it's designed to break down. And those things, that's probably your biggest, the biggest factors. One thing I'd say is that you said you just did it. Yes, you did it now. So the cool thing about getting your results now is that whatever you were doing over the course of the season resulted in reasonably balanced soil at the end of the season, right? So I would just, whatever you're doing, I would I would start out 2022 doing the exact same thing because obviously the soil is working well, and if the grass is looking good, just stick with it. Stick with it, sir. All right, next up, we got Cedric G in the house. Says, good evening, Big Ron. No question tonight. Just supporting you, big guy. Smashing the like button. I appreciate it, Cedric. Thank you for coming to hang out. I appreciate that. See, Cedric, now, boys and girls, this is a nice comment. See, we didn't have any, Go Bama, Roll Tide, the dogs, all dogs fans are, suck it dogs, all this kind of stuff. We don't have any of that. It was just a very nice, clean, there's no negative ill will in the comment. It's a very genuinely, Cedric, thank you. This is a poster child of what a poster or a perfect example of what a nice comment should be like. Josh and a couple of other people in here, you guys should take notes. This is what we should be doing, not all the extra stuff you guys put in your comments. But don't worry, next week there's room for improvement. Georgia, you better win. You guys better win. Got to pull it off. I don't want to deal with these guys next week. It's going to be bad if we don't win. All right, next up, Alex is saying, I just had great results with Barenbrug, Kentucky Bluegrass Turf Blue. Going to try, they're spreading ryegrass seed. Going to try spreading their ryegrass seed back into the mix with my KBG back in there. Their one rye variety has stolons. Huh, interesting. I thought you meant like you were going to try spreading it, but you're saying they have a variant of ryegrass that actually has stolons. Huh, that's cool. Very cool. Yeah, let us know how that works out, Alex. That sounds very cool. And then Demir says, hey, Ron, I've got a pre-lit non-real tree. That's where it's at. I'm with you. There you go, right? Because I mean, if you think about everything that goes into using a real tree, not that I'm hating on a real tree. Not a organic tree. You have to go out, you have to go cut it down, maybe cut it down yourself, or go to a place and buy one. And then there's the logistics of actually getting said tree from wherever you bought it into your house, right? And unless you got like a truck, you're gonna have to mount it on top of your car, and you might scratch the car up if you don't have some kind of like a ski rack or something on top of it. Not an easy way to tie the tree down. Then I think you have to put one of those little pot things to keep them hydrated so they don't die out. It's a great way to bring bugs and stuff into your lawn. Into your house. Now, the one positive is that they do smell nice and they do look, I would say they look fuller, but because my tree looks pretty full. But the biggest thing to me is they just smell nice, and just put some pine sol down or some kind of, as with all the fragrance oils we have now, as big as that scene is, just put some pine flavored, pine scented, fragrance oil, and you're good to go. So yeah, I am down with the synthetic Christmas trees. And Jim Carson says, "Isn't Georgia the king of pine trees?" I don't know. I've never bought one, so I don't know if we are. I know there are. You drive around here now, and some of the parking lots you'll see like the tree sales places set up. But I've never actually bought a Christmas tree, so I don't know the answer to that. As far I would not think that we'd be, because I mean Christmas is obviously big in Georgia. It's big everywhere in the country. But as far as like like the Bing Crosby and That King Cole Christmas, the type of Christmas you think, Winter Wonderland, where it's like snow and everything's, like what most people think about when they think about Christmas. Georgia doesn't really get that, as far as like, everything covered in snow and looking like what you think about that's what people sing about in Christmas songs. So I wouldn't think that would be the pine tree king or capital, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we are, and we just ship them all over the country. I don't know for sure, but I would not think so. Wouldn't think so, but could be. Okay, next up, we got Patrick in Texas. Yeah, Patrick says, "Good evening, Mr. Henry. Got my shipment this week. Do you offer gift cards from your store? My family's looking for Christmas presents from me, and it would drive more people to your store." It's a good idea, Patrick. I'm gonna have to look into logistically making that happen. It's a good project for this weekend. I think I have your email. If I do, I think I have your email address. I will. I'll email you once I get it set up. What I'll do is I'll work on it, and then I will do obviously like a test run to make sure it actually works. And then I will I'll shoot you an email and let you know that gift cards are things. So if you guys are looking to give the gift of fertilizer and lawn care products, carbon soil amendments, all that fun stuff, gifts cards coming to a golf course lawn store near you soon. It's a good project for this weekend. It's a great idea, Patrick. I will get on it. I will work on it. Good idea. Thanks, sir. Thanks for that. I appreciate it. All right. Next up, we had Gary Callett says, "Hey, Ron, had a great Thanksgiving with your family and missed you last week. I think my wife was happy I wasn't on the iPad last Friday. Thanks again, Ron, for all you do." It was fun. Yeah, we had a good time. It was quiet, pretty quiet Thanksgiving, a little smaller than anticipated, but it was still a great time. We had fun. We had not really. Here's the thing. Not, I don't even want to tell you guys what we had for Thanksgiving food, because you guys are going to hate on it. You guys are going to be like, well, that's not traditional Thanksgiving food, but it's what we had. So just, mac and cheese, like really, really good mac and cheese. Because mac and cheese, there's mac and cheese and there's mac and cheese. And this is really, really good mac and cheese, along with some other additives. There's some stuffing, which I think stuffing is technically a Thanksgiving meal. No turkey, because I actually don't like turkey. I'm not a huge fan of turkey. Like the only time I eat turkey is around Thanksgiving time. When it's fried, it's okay, but I'm not a huge turkey person, and it's probably because I haven't. And people say, maybe I just haven't had amazing turkey. Maybe that's what it is. Like I'll tell you one turkey, and again, you guys, I'm gonna catch grief for this, but if you ever get Popeyes, Popeyes has a turkey. Like you guys may not know this; it's too late now. But they do a turkey. They do have a turkey you can buy from them that's already seasoned. That is actually really good. I've had that before, and that's good. But like traditional turkey to me tends to be kind of dry and not very tasty. But yeah, I'm glad you got the night off and got to spend some more time with the fam, Gary. And yeah, I'm gonna be more consistent and make sure that I'm here every week. Gonna try and get Demir back on. I'll have to see if I can get BYD, maybe get Alan on again. And just have a great time. Maybe it'll be the time for people just to come, for a lot of lawn care YouTubers to visit the live stream and just hang out and cut up and have a great time. All right. Alexander saying the leaf vacuum is self-propelled. Okay, yeah. So I guess, yeah, so it's self-propelled, but as far as the process of emptying it, Alexander, do you have to does the bag tear away at the bottom where you can dump it all out, or you just pull the bag off and dump it and reattach it? But I guess as long as you can vacuum all the leaves up and then still use the machine to move the bags over to the dumping area and then dump it and then move back, I guess I could see how it would be definitely a labor saver for sure. Labor saver, and probably saves time as well too. All right, Turf Turtle's Lawn is saying, you definitely want a green lawn year round, LOL, or you want something to look forward to in the spring. Not really. There are people that around here, like the thing to do this time of year, well, not this time of year, but the thing that some people will do in the South come September, October timeframe, they'll oversee their Bermuda lawns with rye to get a green lawn, like this time of year, and also green into the spring. So, so it gets that like Augusta National look, like really green, amazing green lawn. But I don't like to do that mainly because two reasons. I always talk about this, but I'll repeat it again. One, originally from the Caribbean, so I don't like cold weather. Like anything under 65 degrees to me is officially cold. So there's that. And then second, I don't want to have to get out and mow year round. So I was actually no, that's not the second. The second is springtime. When springtime rolls around, I if you don't get rid of the ryegrass in Bermuda, it creates a mess where the Bermuda struggles to green up nicely, and it just looks the lawn just looks like garbage, really, for lack of a better term, until like June-ish, July, when it gets really hot to kill off the ryegrass. So one, it means having to get out there and mow when it's cold outside, which I'm not a fan of. And then two, it means spraying doing a blanket herbicide application just at the time when the Bermuda is trying to wake up, which is going to stunt the Bermuda slightly, right? So I'm not for those two reasons, I just tend to not do it. So it can look cool, but just not for me. Maybe one year, but not this year. It's too late now anyway. So maybe one time I'll try it out, but I've already spoken it up in my head, all the reasons as to why I don't want to do it. But yeah, we got Blue Jay 3000 in the house. What's going on, Blue Jay 3000? Two palms, hands to you as well, sir. Thanks for coming to hang out. And then Mono is in the house saying, just checking in from El Paso, Texas. Thanks for all you do, sir. Yard is finally going dormant. Appreciate you hanging out. Okay, so you're in Texas, but you got, looks like, is it a Raiders hat? What you got? Or I'm not sure. It's not the LA Raiders. Who's the Raiders now? The Vegas Raiders or whatever? Yeah, it is a Raiders. You were in Raiders Power, but I guess, but yeah, thanks for coming to hang out, man. Appreciate you taking some time out in the live stream. And Jim Carson says, can you do a link for the Yard Mastery sprayer? I can, sir. I can. Let me see if I have it here. Yep, here we go. It's Ron Henry, ron-henry.com / backpack sprayer, all one word, ron-henry.com / backpack sprayer. Or you can go here. Actually, let me check and make sure that this is working. So I was redoing a lot of the links the other day. Hopefully this is not, I didn't break this one. Nope, I didn't. Looks good. It's still sold out, but you can get it here once it's back in stock. Jim or anyone else is looking for what I think is like the best value in, especially definitely the higher end backpack sprayers. Yard Mastery is the one I'd go with, again, because it comes with all the attachments and works well. All right. And I appreciate that, Jim. Thanks for the support. And Jim says, Georgia will even take a broken down bus win. Man, that's what I'm telling you. Listen, if the lights go out in the stadium where they can't finish the game and they call the game and we're up and we win that way, we'll take it. A win, it didn't have to be like a major win. Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying that I would not love to see us like do Alabama like we've done some of these teams, like just really run the score up, like, score like 50 points on them or something and hold them to like, a touchdown. That would be really, really good. But see, now me saying that, I'm putting that out there. And if we don't do that, or if Bama does that to us, next week will be rough. Next week's gonna be rough. Yeah, I think Georgia should win. There's no reason like why Georgia should not beat Alabama tomorrow. But then again, there's no reason why the Falcons should have lost to the Patriots with a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. Shouldn't have happened, right? So we shall see. It's not over till it's over. Until the guys all walk out on the field and Nick Saban is looking down, being upset, and Kirby's all happy, and Georgia, there's a new holiday being enacted because the Georgia wins. I'm not gonna get my hopes up. All right, next up we got Shelby Amos in the house. He's saying, hey, Ron, coming to you from Fort Worth, Texas. Any new products or strategies you're going to do next season? An Ardent Overseed again. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm going to do another Ardent Overseed. Probably not. Main reason is that I didn't like dealing with weeds this year. Like if you're really going to seed, or if you're going to seed your lawn or overseed your lawn, you really can't do pre-emergent in the spring, which means you're surrendering to having increased weed pressure throughout the entire season. So I don't want to have to deal with weeds next year. I'm just gonna let next year is gonna a pretty I'm saying this now, I'm gonna end up eating my words, but it's the goal is for it to be a fairly basic season. Just a basic season. Just lots of mowing, my spoon feeding program. I might not even top dress, guys. You heard it here first. December 3rd, I said it. I'm not planning to top dress, but who knows? Alex will probably pull me into it. He'll be like, hey man, just one more time. And then, I can't let him do it and me not do it. But I mean, the plan is for it to be fairly basic next year. As far as products, there are some things I'm working on in the background on the fertilization front. So we'll see about that. I think you guys are going to like it. It's something that some people have been asking for a while. So we'll see, if that comes to fruition, if it's able to happen. Right now, confidence is pretty high, but I think you guys will like it if things can work out. But I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, outside of like a fertilizer product, perhaps, and like another insecticide product. Not a ton else new in the pipeline. I am planning a really, really, really like baller video for plant growth regulator. I wanted to get this done this year for the one for Primo Max. I was slated to get this done this year, but really I got the Primo Max so late in the season that yes, I could have done a video on it, but one, it's not the time of year. I wouldn't have really done, the video justice because, people aren't really doing PGR in October. So next year, one of my big goals is to do a really, really awesome video on plant growth regulator. You guys know I love it. It's like the happy juice for your lawn. Especially anyone that's real mowing. So that's something that's planned. But yeah, stay tuned. You guys will be the first to know of any new products. You'll probably know about it here first on the live stream before anybody else sees it. So just keep watching the live stream and you will know. You will know. Probably not an overseed next year though, because I'm planning to do pre-emergent in the spring, which is gonna pretty much the overseed at that point. You just kind of shoot yourself in the foot by trying it then. All right. Demir says, Josh, have you real time? You too? You are. That's right. You are in Alabama. Man, I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know. I should have had you on this week because like if Alabama wins, like you're probably gonna show up in the live stream wearing like, Alabama apparel and drinking out of like a maroon, chaser or something. I don't know if I can. Demir, I forgot about that. I forgot you're a huge Alabama fan. I don't know, man. I may have to rethink our relationship. This depending on how things go tomorrow. I don't know, man. Not sure. He says, you're smoking a 10-pound pork shoulder for the game, starting at 3 a.m. Hope it's a great game. Georgia's no joke this season. Having said that, go Dogs. I like where your mind is. I appreciate the support. We appreciate all the support, sir. It looks like it sounds like you guys are doing it upright, man. Got a 10-pound pork shoulder. I'll tell you one thing. If Georgia wins, I am going to be on Instagram DMing some people and being, and unlike you guys, I'm going to be very gracious winner. I'm going to say, guys, Bama played an awesome game. I'm glad that we were able to pull it out against an obvious superior team, and perhaps better luck next year. That's how I'm going to be. I'm sure the Alabama fans will not be that way. You guys have like no behavior. I forgot that you're from Alabama. I don't know. This will make things more difficult. All right, Nicholas Knight, seniors in the house, is still green in Michigan. Okay, so yeah, you're on the cool season grass kick, so I can imagine you're still green. That's cool. And then Jeff has a question. It's a good one. He says, do you keep up your fungicide and insecticide regimen during winter months? No, not really. So this fall, I did a couple of fungicide applications, which I have not done in the past, primarily because I'm trying to keep spring dead spot away. We'll see if, what I did works. Hopefully it does. We'll see. And for the insecticide apps, I wait until spring. So I will do a Celiprin probably in Marchish next year is when I'll get that done. I really, really like the product. I had awesome results with it this year. I didn't have any issues with grubs or when armyworms were out destroying everybody's lawn. I did not have any in my lawn. So it worked well. No reason not to run it back next year is how I see it, Jeff. So if you're interested in seeing the product I'm talking about, this is what I will be using next year. And I think like if I can easily find the video, let's see. I think if I just search for grubs, will the YouTube find it? It will. Google, if you guys are watching, you guys do search really, really well, but of course you guys already know that, right? You don't need me to tell you that. And if you want to see a video on Acceloprin, I think that's the right one. This is the video where I basically review that product and just talk about all the good reasons of why you should use it in your lawn. So great question, Jeff. But no, nothing until March. Nothing until March. All right. At Jim Carson says, I'm pretty sure it's not even available for sale right now. Even pre-order anything until January or February. But when Ron gives you a link, you can sign up for email notifications. Yeah. So you can. There you go, Alex. Yeah. I don't. If Yard Mastery sold out right now, they're probably not placing a huge order for them right now. I wouldn't imagine, because you think about it, they don't want to buy a bunch of stuff and have it sit on the shelves. So I imagine the kind of what Alex is saying, the first part of next year, February-ish, they will likely get them in stock again for people that are getting ready for the, to get the season kicked off. Might be a little bit earlier, maybe a little earlier. It might be January or February, but February makes sense because that's also ensures that you have the sprayer for people that are doing pre-emergent. So, I would just keep checking. They might get a small batch in over the winter months, but if you get your hands on, if it gets in stock, get one. Don't wait to get one, because there's nothing with the way supply chain is now. There's nothing that says they're going to be easy to come by next year. All right, good question here from Nicholas Knight Sr. He says, "Is gas-powered lawn equipment really an issue?" Depends on who you ask. I mean, it does pollute. It does pollute. You got to figure like the exhaust that's coming out of like your lawnmower isn't as clean as what comes out of your car, right? There's like your lawnmower doesn't have like a catalytic converter on it to clean up the the exhaust, the fumes, the unburnt hydrocarbons. So it's not great for the environment. But I don't think that we are quite, as a nation, and even as a planet at this point, like, is everything eventually going to go to electric? Probably, right? Once we can figure out a way to like make energy cheaper, and make batteries that last longer, and to where range is not as an issue, as much of an issue as it is now, and you have the infrastructure where you can like recharge batteries faster. I mean, everything eventually will go electric. I could see that, but but I don't think we're there quite there yet. I don't think it's going to be, in the next year. Like, in other words, next year, Home Depot is still going to be selling gas-powered mowers. You're still going to be selling more gas-powered lawnmowers than they are electric mowers. The same is likely going to be true for, I don't know, maybe not for like blower attachments and string trimmers, but for lawnmowers, I think it's still going to be a thing that they'll be gas-powered for a while. But yeah, I mean, it pollutes more than or depending on who you ask, it pollutes more than batteries do. I don't know if that's necessarily true now when you factor in like the cost of producing batteries and the energy it takes to charge said batteries, like everything that goes into producing batteries. But once it becomes the more streamlined, it's going to be hard to have the argument for still running gas-powered equipment. So, 10 years from now, it'll probably flip to where it's more electric than gas, is what I would imagine, Nicholas. Good question. All right. Justin Aguilar says, "How did Mirimichi Green Pest Control do over the season?" It worked great. We started offering that later on, like into the fall. People that use it had really good results with it. They liked it, because here's the thing: the best thing about the pest control is, one, it's an effective product, and that it's just non-toxic. Like a lot of people have, issues with using insecticides that are toxic. You got to figure, if you have kids or you have fur babies, and people just want to keep the insecticides or other sides out of their lawn as much as they possibly can. This stuff is very it's very effective, smells good. Because of the way it works, the insects can't form a resistance to it, so it's always going to kill them. So and a little bit goes a long way. So it did well. It did well, and I think that it's gonna, next season, I imagine it's gonna do even better as we get it gets more visibility, more people use it, more people, the word spreads about the product. So yeah, it's a great product, and I think it's gonna continue to do well. Great question, Justin. I appreciate you. Let me see what else we got here. And then Demir's chiming in. He's saying, "Jeff M, no, in the winter months, insecticide fungus won't be active, or insects and fungus won't be active. You'd essentially be wasting the product. Wait till spring. and use IPM with good agronomic practices. Late season, you can do a preventative. So, like kind of like what I did this year into the fall, you can do a preventative fungicide if you want. But yeah, there's no reason to, outside of like compost and biochar, there's little reason to put anything on your lawn this time of year. There's just because it's just not you're not really the grass isn't actively going to make use of it. But yeah, like I said, outside of Carbon Pro G or Essential G, there's not a lot of reason to be doing a whole lot right now. Just sit back and sip a nice lemonade, and watch football and hopefully watch the dogs pull off a win. Even if it's by a field goal, we'll take a win by a safety. We can win by a safety. We'll take that. It doesn't even got to be a big win. I was hoping and praying for like a like decimating Alabama, but even like a winning by a safety, we'll take that. And actually, given Georgia's defense, it could be a possibility. It could happen. All right, Alex B's up next. He says, "Ron, you'd be surprised how many people tried warm season grasses up here usually with disastrous results. I think it was a kick in the 70s and 80s. Quite a few in my neighborhood still have it. So if you have Bermuda in New Jersey, when does it green up? Is it like a June? Is it green for like a month or two? I imagine like with June. Well, actually, no, you probably get like I guess June, July, some of August. So like 3 months maybe. But yeah, I wouldn't warm season grass up there. Just not a good idea. Plus, also you have to be a lot more careful too, right? Because I'm sure like I imagine like what Home Depot carries as far as herbicide is more catered towards cool season grass. So you're kind of going against the grain as far as getting access to products that are correct for your grass type. For a good example, like Coastal, which is a really, really good pre-emergent, it's a combination product, pre-emergent and post-emergent product. It doesn't ship to a lot of northern states because you really shouldn't be growing, warm season grass in New York. So yeah, pretty sure Coastal you can't ship it there. Like if you look at the list, there's a really long list of we're not shipping the product to all these states. Like it's mainly used in why is it not loading? It's mainly used in warm season states. So I'm not seeing it here. Did Do My Own stop carrying Coastal? Oh, I don't know. Let me see if I can find my my link and see if I can find it here. But if you look at the label for this, literally it's a bunch of yeah, here we go. So yeah, they're currently out of stock on it. But it's a whole lot of won't ship it to this state, this state, this state, or this state. So I'll actually show you what I'm talking about here. So even if you had cool season grass like up in let's see, up north. Let me see, is New Jersey one of the states? It looks like it will go to New Jersey. But if we look here, if you look at the list of states that it's not for sale to, I mean, that's a pretty big list. Get my head out of the way. You can see it's quite a few states, most of them being northern states where they won't ship it because, again, you really shouldn't be growing Bermuda up north. All right. Let's hear when Chariot says, hearing another lawnmower causes a Pavlovian response. Okay, I'll go with that. Wind Chariot. I'll go with that. And then next up, Static Alpha is like, you're right. I just want to put something down, but the results said literally 0 pounds of everything recommended. I use both liquid nitrogen and granular organic to feed the soil at like 3-2-3. Yeah, man. So, I mean, just keep doing what you're doing. I wouldn't apply anything right now because you're just going to be wasting it. But yeah, I thought that's what I was kind of hearing in the question, even though you weren't directly asking that because, you're a lawn care geek. We like putting stuff on our lawn. So I'm right there with you. All right. Jim says, yeah, we are inland from OC and above San Diego. From Orange County and above San Diego and below LA, not the desert. It is in Inland Empire, hot like the valley. Okay, cool, Jim. Yeah, because California's got like every climate, right? So yeah, it's cool that I guess given the area that you're in, you guys are getting pretty high temps. So good stuff. Alex is saying fullness and width can't compare to an organic tree. I have both a fresh cut natural tree and a non-organic synthetic tree, and that's the biggest disparity. I will give you that. Like the organic trees, they do look fuller and they smell nicer, and yeah. So that I get you. They are fuller, but I mean, do you really go up and look at the tree that much? I mean, you look at the lights on it and everything, right? It's not that big a deal. And then Wind Chariot says, those real trees are ultra expensive this year, just like everything else right now. Wonder why tree, well, I guess, yeah, you gotta cut them down, you gotta haul them. So yeah, anything that involves moving stuff is gonna be expensive. But I can't see from like a not capacity, but like an inventory standpoint. Like I would imagine there's just as many trees grew this year or are available for harvesting this year as there were last year. But I guess it's just the harvesting part of it, right? One, find people to actually work and go do it, and then the cost of moving the stuff around. So makes sense. And then so Alex B is saying, yeah, I paid almost double for a slightly shorter tree that I cut down compared to last year. Very nice. Well, not nice, but that's all the more reasons why you should just roll down to Costco or to Wally World and get you, one of those specials. Get you like the, nice full synthetic tree, and then you're good to go. You never have to worry about it ever again. Can't have to worry about it ever again. Jim is with the Charlie Brown Christmas tree. All right. Next up, we got Thin Cuddy says, one time years and years ago, went out and got a natural tree, washed it off, shook it, and let it dry, then brought it inside. Then all of a sudden, the windows near the tree turned red with ladybugs. You see? And here's the thing. If you have someone in your house that is afraid of insects, that's a problem. It's like you can spend half of December trying to get rid of ladybugs, killing them or sweeping them up and throwing them out. You don't have to deal with any of that with the synthetic trees. I mean, the problem with synthetic trees, they don't smell nice. And I'm telling you, a little incense, pine sol in a pinch, you're good to go. And you have to do, and even with all the extra work that Thin Cut did, he still ended up with ladybugs. See, we don't us and on the synthetic tree crowd in that camp, we don't have to worry about that. All right. Thin Cut saying the craziest thing I've seen is 2 artificial trees. And Josh will be at Demir. Here you see they're trying to psych each other. They're trying to build each other up. He's at Demir. That Georgia defense is great, but we got Saint Nick and it's Christmas time, baby. I don't know. Saint Nick was looking a little bit defeated last week, like this past week. He was like he looked very, very happy to pull off, to squeak off that win. And the team they weren't. Who did they play? They weren't even really. I mean, they're an okay team, but it wasn't even like a really good team. They're definitely not like Georgia. So in other words, if Alabama plays the game tomorrow that they played last week, there should be no problem with us beating them. Should not. But it's Georgia, so Lord knows what, who knows who's going to show up. Who knows? All right. And then Corey says, what is it you recommend? What is it that you recommend for Winterizer for the Northeast? So here's the thing. I don't really recommend usually putting down, by winterizer, you're talking about like a fertilizer, like putting down a fertilizer on the lawn. I'm not a huge fan of doing that. Like my rule with applying fertilizer in the fall is if the grass is still actively growing, feed it. Like you can start backing down the rate as you get closer and closer to the lawn going to sleep or just growing slower. But just as far as a matter of practice of just saying that you're just going to throw down, a heavy fertilizer app, because the grass isn't growing anymore because it's supposed to do something for next season. I just don't. I mean, I think it's more of a marketing thing. It's more of a marketing thing than it is something that's going to make a material difference in the way your lawn looks. I've tried it. I've done both. I have applied a fertilizer when the lawn is like dormant, and I've done nothing, and it's not made a difference at all in how the lawn looked the following spring. And really, all you're doing, I mean, if you do like a super heavy app when temperatures are still a bit warm, all you're doing is you're creating, one thing you could be doing is creating conditions where you're going to have some fungus problems come springtime. So, when it comes to the fall, the rule, like anything else, if the grass is still actively growing, feed it. If it's not growing, don't feed it. And that will serve you well and save you money on fertilizer. So there you go. Let's see, what other questions do we have? NASCAR Live says, let's say two non-living trees. One is a snowman tree, and the other has 1,200 lights and takes 2 days to put up. Yeah, see, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Like hanging the lights on the tree, that is not a small task. The nice folks at Costco or wherever they got the tree from have already done it. They've done the analysis and said, hey, listen, this distribution of lights is going to look really good. And it does look really good. And if you just want to augment that with maybe like one stripe, one little band of lights around on top of that, you can do that. But that's a good point, NASCAR Life. I didn't think about that. Having to take the time to put all the lights on the tree, it's another thing. It's another thing you got to go do. So it's even more work. Okay. Next up, Dwayne Hopkins' question about liquid fert. He says, hey, Ron, when using a liquid foliar fert, do you recommend a surfactant? I don't. Most liquid ferts do not require surfactant. They just don't. They don't need it to. They don't need it to work well. So no, I don't recommend a surfactant. Just apply the product per the label, and most labels I can't think of a liquid fertilizer that I've come across that specifies that you add an ion or that you add surfactant with it. I mean, it might be out there, but I've not come across one that I recall. Okay, CW Spur is up next and says, hey, Ron, I am in the Atlanta area and I have a Bermuda lawn. I noticed today some areas that they look like they had a red tint to them. Grass is probably 90 to 85% brown. What are your thoughts on this? The red tint, I don't know. The red tint, it could be a fungus problem. Kind of unlikely. It's probably just the grass is going dormant, man. I wouldn't sweat it. I mean, if you told me you had like reddish tint or reddish tips, like in the middle of summer or spring, could be some red thread. It could be. There are some fungus that manifest themselves that way. But this time of year, it's more than likely just the grass going into dormancy. Like a good example, the zoysia, the compadre zoysia, has some reddish, as some like the grass leaves have some reddish in them as it's beginning to go into dormancy. So that's what I'm thinking is what you're seeing. CW Spur. I would not worry about it. Wouldn't sweat it. And you are saying you cut it with the Alette reel mower, which is probably around 1 to 1.25 inch currently. Normally cut at 3/4 inch to 7/8. Yeah, that's a good height. I am at 3/4 inch right now, and I'm just gonna leave that. Here's the thing: next year, I'm saying this now, but I really liked how it looked at 1/2 inch. But next year, I'm probably just gonna maintain the lawn at 3/4 inch, mainly because the mowing requirements are less. You like mowing at 1/2 inch, man, is like you get on that everyday mowing program to keep the lawn looking good if you're doing that. So 3/4 inch gives you a little bit more leg room. And in your case, you're at 1.25 inch, normally at 3/4 to 7/8. It's a great height. You're not gonna, it gives you some leg room that if you miss a day, it's not like the end of the world. Michael, what's going on, man? Michael Chafin is in the house. What's up, Ron? Not too much, man. I'm doing well. Hopefully you are doing well as well. Hope you had a good, fun, and safe Thanksgiving. Always good to hear from you. And then John Finley's in the house. He's saying, loving my nice fluffy Bermuda white blanket overhand. Loving my nice fluffy Bermuda white blanket over my yard. Any good suggestions for landscape plants that are good with Bermuda? I am the wrong person to ask. I am like the anti like shrub and putting like plants in the lawn, because I always think that's just more work, right? I gotta clean up after them. I gotta trim them and all this kind of stuff. I'm the wrong person to ask about that. I don't know. I don't know on that one, John. Especially this time of year, I don't know what you could plant now that would look good in the lawn. I'm not sure on that one. I'm not sure if anyone else has any tips or suggestions on good landscape plants that are good with Bermuda this time of year. Weigh in for John, and he is in Tennessee. All right, and Michael is like on that. He says on that he's on the. You guys, I'll tell you something. Michael, Demir, and LG, not LG. No, who else was and Josh. I gotta leave LG out of this. LG's like, it wasn't me. I was not saying roll tide. And Josh, I'm telling you something. You guys are gonna be on the wrong side of history. You guys gonna be on the wrong side of history on this one, guys. I hate to break it to you, but you just are, you know? And here's the thing. If I'm wrong, I won't like take down the live stream. It'll be up here for you guys to be able to sit back and laugh at me, you know, in perpetuity. Don't worry about it. I mean, I'm not gonna take it down, but I think you guys are just I don't think you're gonna like what's gonna happen tomorrow. I just don't think so. If it goes bad though, I'm just gonna turn my phone off. No, I don't wanna deal with all the abuse. All right, Dean Harold is in the house. He says, "Hey, I'm looking forward to sodding my yard with Celebration Bermuda next spring." Great choice. You gotta let us know how it works out, Dean. It's a great choice. I love how Celebration looks. Love how Celebration looks. So it's a great grass, and spring is a great time to do it. Shelby Amos, great question. So a good question about mowers. He says, "Why do you go with a True Cut over McLean? Now that I have 8,500 square foot lawn, I am needing a 25 to 27 inch, and I can't decide between the two. I prefer the propulsion system of the True Cut over the McLean. I don't like the McLean or the Cal. I don't. Okay, and again, if you have a McLean, let me just start by saying this: if you have a McLean or a California trimmer and you get good results with it, keep your mower. I'm not hating on those mowers. I'm just saying that compared to the drive system, the way they work, I prefer the True Cut design to the McLean or California trimmer design. In my area too, this is like the country, the land of True Cut. So as far as finding one, if you're looking for one pre-owned, you can get them cheaper. As far as finding places to work on them, there's lots of places around here that will work on True Cut mowers. So there's also that too. You know, getting the parts availability for True Cut in my area is better than the parts availability for McLean. So based on the fact that one, I like the way the drive system, the propulsion system in them better. There's a lot more options as far as service and maintenance and parts. And yeah, it's just overall just a great mower. You can go with a 25 or 27 inch. Either one's going to work well. Alex has a 27 inch, and his does a great job. You've seen how his lawn looks. So you know, if you want a 27 inch, go that route. I don't know with McLean. Does McLean make a 27 inch? You probably do, but I mean, yeah. If they make it in the height or the width that you need, and if you like that mower, and you've tested it, and that's the one for you, then go for it, man. I mean, you're asking my opinion. If you had a choice of giving me a McLean or giving me a True Cut, I want to pick the True Cut every time. But that does not mean that, you know, if you can't get a good result with a McLean that's set up properly. I just prefer the True Cut over the McLean. All right. Shelby Amos follow-up comment says, "I use the pest control and love it. Got the Petra fogger and it rocks." Awesome. Yeah, man. The big thing is to use the fogger. Like you get over double the coverage if you use a fogger versus using a backpack sprayer. With a sprayer, you get like 3,000 square feet, you know, in a pit. Like if you're lucky, if you're using like a backpack sprayer. With a fogger, you know, up to 7,000 square feet is easily doable off of a gallon. So it's you know, a fogger is really the way to go to get the most out of that product. All right, G Freeze in the house. What's going on? G Freeze says, "Hey Ron and hashtag Stripe Action Gang, just enjoying the chat with y'all. Thanks for coming out, sir. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well." Okay, and next up, Corey says, "Have you ever used 7 and did you like it?" No, I haven't. No to both. So I can't say if I didn't like it. So I've never used it, so I don't know that product, so I can't comment on it. All right, next up, Michael Steele says, "I have Zoysia in NYC and love it." So Michael's like, "Listen, I like hard mode. I'm doing it the hard way. I got my Zoysia and I'm in New York and it can work. Leave me alone." All right, so there you go. So it can be done. And Zoysia, I mean, compared to Bermuda, Zoysia, I can imagine, would do better because Zoysia, you know, it's like from what I'm seeing in my test plots, Zoysia's going dormant later than Bermuda. So it tolerates shade better. It apparently tolerates cold weather a bit better than Bermuda does. So yeah, I mean, I guess if you had to pick a cool season grass to plant up north, though I'm not endorsing or suggesting that you do that, Zoysia is not a bad choice. Not a bad choice, as Michael was saying. He's getting good results with it. All right. Next up, we got Lindrick Butler in the house saying, "Happy holidays. How often do you cut in the winter?" Okay, question number one. How often do you cut in the winter? Really, I don't need to at all, but normally I can't help myself. Every 3 weeks, at least every 3 weeks to once a month, I'll get out there and I'll, just clean things up a bit. So at least once a month. And then 2, do you recommend blowing leaves or bag while cutting? Does your neighbors know you are a lawn doctor? If yes, do they stop in the driveway to ask for tips? So for 2, do you recommend blowing the leaves or bagging while cutting? I would get rid of the leaves. I mean, if you have like a small amount, like a like let's say 5% of your lawn is covered in leaves, you just want to mulch them. That's not a bad plan. But if you got a ton of leaves, I don't know that I would run over a lawn that's covered in leaves, because that's just going to contribute to thatch buildup, right? It's just like the lawn isn't really active right now. You're just putting a ton of dead material that the grass isn't going to be actively making use of this time of year. It's a great way to get like really spongy turf. I wouldn't do it. I would get rid of the leaves before mowing. And then 3rd, do your neighbors know you're the lawn doctor? Some of them do. Like some people know that I do YouTube. Like I've had a couple people in the neighborhood when I'm out filming, and they say, "Hey, yeah, aren't you that guy on YouTube?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm one of many guys on YouTube." But yeah, if you're talking about the guys I was walking around with the 10-pound gimbal, and has Bermuda grass, and yes, that's me. And a couple of them have asked for tips as far as like around top dressing and that type of thing. So yeah, I am. There are people in the neighborhood that know that I have a YouTube channel and that I'm the crazy lawn guy. All right, and then Michael's helping to see the light. He says, "Ron, you're not seeing the big picture. Because from November to February, no one is looking at the lawn anyway, so it might as well be dormant." That's true. You're right. I agree. So, I mean, but I'm guessing my question, Michael. So with your lawn, and I guess if you're still in the live stream, you can answer this. With your lawn, with you having zoysia, when does your lawn green up and when does it go dormant? I mean, is it green up as the same rate as it does here in Georgia? Because around here, zoysia's not really turning green until assuming depends on the winter, but like March, April timeframe. That's when it's fully looking nice. And then it goes to sleep like in October. So are you guys getting the same growing season with zoysia up north? Be interesting to know. All right. Ryan McDemay says, looking for the best spring dead spot fungicide, Headway G or something else. Thoughts? Headway G is nice because it has 2 active ingredients in it. You can get by with just, what's the other one? Heritage G. Ryan, you could use that for spring dead spot. It's a little bit cheaper, but if you're going to do it, and you want to just have a chance of just having multiple ways to attack the lawn fungus, then Headway is the way to go. But Headway or Heritage can work. I will, because you asked, I will put links to both of them in the chat, and you can decide. So I'll put them in here, and you can decide which one is for you. There is a price difference. Like again, Headway is a bit more expensive, which you'd expect because it's like two products in one. But either one will work well for spring dead spot. A good example of where you would want to use Headway is if you were trying to treat dollar spot. You wouldn't want to use Heritage. You'd want to use Headway because Headway is what contains propiconazole. So Headway in general has broader coverage, but like everything else, it has a higher cost because of that, because it has two active ingredients. Good question. It's a good one. All right. Shelby Amos is back and says, I have a Toro Time Master, but it only goes down to 2 inches. Down 2 inches. I'd imagine it'd go lower than that. It says that's way too high for us turfners. Is there not a way to adjust it? Like some of them have like a plate. I mean, I don't have a time master, but some of the rotaries will have like a plate that you can you can take out and that you can clock, and that will lower the lowest cutting height and also lower the highest cutting height. I'm not sure if the Time Master has that. Because 2 inches seems a bit high to me. It seems like a Time Master, that seems a touch on the high side. I would think you'd be able to get under 2 inches with a Time Master, but maybe not. Maybe it's really catered towards taller grass. All right. Alex B says, I sense a wager brewing. Whoever's team loses comes in the line of stream wearing the winning team's merch. Here's the problem. I don't have any of Alabama merch. I don't have any Bama merch. First of all, here's the thing. Alabama is not going to win tomorrow. They're just not going to. It's I say that. Georgia finds a way. They should not win tomorrow. But if they win, and if I can find some So actually, I shouldn't say this because knowing Josh will send me some. That's the that's the problem. If I can find, tell you what, if I can find some Alabama merch locally, like I can just go like to the local store and find some Alabama merch locally in Georgia. If I can find that and they win, then I'll wear some. That's a fair deal. I'll wear it for a short time on the live stream if Bama wins. If I could find some locally, if I can't find any, then you're out of luck. And mail's going to be turned off for the next month or so if Alabama wins, Josh. So I won't get any mail. So if you mail me anything, I probably won't get it. So that's going to be a thing. But yeah, I'm down because I am confident in Kirby and the dogs. We are going to do it, man. It's going to happen. All right, back to turf talks. We got Thomas Hennon in the house. Has a question about reel mowing. He says, when reel mowing, can you do the 180-degree turn on cement like a rotary mower, or must the reel mower not leave the grass? I like to keep it on the grass. I prefer to keep it on the grass. You can make the turn on cement. I like to disengage the reel when you do that. Like, you don't want to take the chance. I mean, there's no reason why the reel should really nick the concrete or hit the concrete at any point. But what most people that reel mow tend to do, Thomas, is we will just make our turns at the end of the grass and then do a trim pass at the end to clean up. Or if you're a nerd like me, or super like, you do things the wrong way like me, or just really it bugs you to have parts not mowed as you're mowing. I do a trim pass when I start, and then I mow, and then I do a trim pass at the end to clean things up. So I do like 2 trim passes. So that's what I would recommend doing more so than coming all the way off the lawn onto the concrete and then going right back onto the lawn. It's also less wear and tear on the drum, assuming you have like a greens mower. So yeah, if you can, do it all on the grass, all on the turf, and just do a trim pass at the beginning or end of cutting, just to clean things up. Here's the thing, even if you make the turns on the concrete, you're probably still going to need a trim pass. So you may as well just keep the mower on the turf just to minimize the chance of damaging the reel, and also just you're not coming on and off the turf all the time. So I would just stay on. Okay, Alex B's back. He says, Alex Steele, maybe you being on the coast does it better where you are, or with those warm season grasses in my neighborhood only get about 2 to 3 months when it's green. Okay, so yeah, I guess maybe where Michael is, Zoysia does well, or he's got a Zoysia variant that just does well with cooler temperatures. That's also a possibility too. All right. Greg is in the house. Up next, he says, hey, remember the green yard I sent you via email a few weeks back? Is it still green? It is still green as could be. Do you think they overseeded with ryegrass? Dude, yes. I looked at that picture. I wish I had it. Had it up here to show everybody, because I've looked at it and it doesn't look like turf paint to me, because it's like turf paint. Like when you paint grass, it has a certain look to it. And I could see some areas where the grass looked like it was beginning to go into dormancy a bit. So unless they are really, really good on like their turf paint application, it's hard to say. I mean, if it's still green and it doesn't, go and look at it, because rye is finer. Rye is a finer grass blade than Bermuda. So if you're in the area and you just happen to be walking by, I mean, not that, I know none of us walk by the competition's lawns and look at it. None of us do that. But if you were to do that, look at the grass, and rye will be a much finer blade than Bermuda. But if it's still that same green now, I'm gonna have to start leaning towards some turf paint. Because a neighbor around, that he's no longer here, but he did do that one time in the neighborhood, and it looked. I mean, it didn't look bad, but it looked like you painted your grass. It didn't look like real grass. So yeah, take a look at it, and you'll be able to tell based on the leaf blade if it's rye in there or not, Greg. So yeah. All right. Gary's like, yeah, I agree with Alex B. We need more cool season in this chat. Well, we're gonna get Demir on again. We'll get him on again, and he is all about cool season. Granted, he's also an Alabama fan, so we must take what he says with a grain of salt, guys. There must be some qualifying. We got to qualify the comments. So he's a Bama fan, but yeah, as far as like a Cool Season Jedi, and someone that just knows. He's probably forgotten more about grass than I will ever learn. He's a great resource to come on the channel. So we'll have to set it up and get him on here again because I think you guys really liked it when he was on the live stream. All right. Alex B says, at Gary Kellett, yep. Ron's tips and info are pretty much applicable to all grass types, transitioning to spoon feeding and some products from the golf course lawn store. Have my lawn looking the best it ever has. Yeah, so for the most part, I'm trying to think. Outside of the herbicides that you use, and the rates, like you think about like the fertilizer, Humic Max works on cool season grass and warm season grass. Spoon feeding, like if you're using liquids, also like Turfplex works on cool season grass and warm season grass. The rates you use may be a little bit different. Like in most cases with cool season grass, you'll use slightly lower rates, but the same products will work well for both. I mean, you have to think about it too, right? From a standpoint of the manufacturers, they don't want to create a formulation that's really only good for one grass type. Because it's expensive. It's only going to work in a small part of the country. Like their reach is going to be a lot less, right? And so yeah, the only differences you're going to really see between products tends for fertilizers anyway, is going to be your application rates. For herbicides, yeah, there's definitely a big difference. Like you can't use warm season herbicides on cool season grass, and you really shouldn't do vice versa. Like there's people that still, for whatever reason, put tenacity on warm season grass when they think it's dormant. I still don't understand that. But that's the one area where you don't really want to mix and match or cross wires when it comes to herbicides. Use the herbicide that is designed for your particular grass type, or bad things will happen. Bad things will happen. All right, so Daryl's giving John some options. He says use some mums in planters, okay. And Dean Dog is saying monkey grass goes good with Bermuda when it's dormant, stays green year round. That's a good point. Yep. Actually, I think Alex's brother-in-law is considering monkey grass for well, I don't know if he did it, end up doing it, but he was considering monkey grass for some areas under this really large oak tree where Bermuda won't grow. So yeah, that's another option. All right, Victor Stamps has a question about striping. He says, "Hey Ron, happy holidays. Do you use a striping kit for your lawn? I have a electric lawnmower. Any recommendations for attachments for striping?" I do not use a striping kit. The mower that I use, most real mowers, not all of them, but most real mowers tend to have a roller, like a front roller, and that does a good job of laying the grass down, which produces the stripes. As far as striping kits for rotaries, which I think is what you have, there are striping kits available. You can make one. Let's see. There's a video that I should find for you. Like I think he's one of the YouTubers that actually got. I think he was the first one this season to get like 1 million views on a video on how to make a lawn striper. Let me see. If I can do like DIY lawn striper. Lawn striper. It'll probably load up here because it's a video got like a ton of views. Yep, there it is, right? From Lake House Lawn Care. So this video here will actually show you how to make. It's at 1.2 million views in 8 months. Pretty impressive. It's pretty awesome sauce. So yeah, at Victor, you can buy them, but unless you're buying one that is designed for the mower you have, you're better off like just looking at that video, and he shows you how to make one for like $15. So that's you can just do that. In my case, I with a greens mower, I get like 2 options for striping. Or I get like pretty much 2 rollers because I have the front roller, and then the rear drum also rolls and stripes the lawn as well too. So that's how I get the really, really good stripes, because it's the type of mower that I'm using that helps produce them. But you can, even with a rotary, you can get a really good looking, you can get really good stripes. Again, if you look at Demir's lawn, that is a lawn that is striped with that's a rotary mower, and stripes look amazing, right? So a good striping kit, and you can get really good results with a rotary. So just check out that video I just linked to you in the chat, and that'll show you how to make one for like $15. All right. Yep. And then Demir says, yeah, Ron has a greens mower, so no need for him to have a stripe kit. I use the Toro stripe kit, and it's great for my 22-inch Toro recycler. So yes, and if you have an actual, so if you have a Toro mower and they make a stripe kit for your mower, go that route. But if not, you can make one. you can make one. If I would be more inclined to make one than get one of those generic ones that's not designed for your particular mower. Like if you have a Toro recycler, then get the Toro stripe kit because you're gonna get a really really good result with that one, and it looks nice. It's high quality. It's Toro. It's just it all coordinates. It looks good. But if you don't have that, then just save yourself some money and just make something. Okay, and then Dean says, "Hey Ron, my last name is pronounced Healed, not Harold. My bad. I am sorry. My apologies, Dean. Healed. He. So it's not healed. It's not healed. It's not healed or Harold. Healed. Okay. It's thank you for correcting me, man, because I would have not gotten that. Is it he all? Is it like an ald, or is it really old like old? Is it like healed or is it he old? I mean, you said old, so I'm gonna go with old. So healed, Dean healed. So now I know, Dean, if I say healed or Harold, smack me again. I mean, here's the thing. I have to, I'm a Georgia fan. So, it takes us a couple of times to get the basic things right. So if I say healed or Harold again, just remind me, but I'll do my best to remember that is healed. I said healed. He old. I'm just going to just say he old. I'm going to go with old. He old. Or just like say like that guy's old, he old. Got it. I'm trying to burn into my brain. All right. Next up, we got Michael. Michael Steele says, my rental property does not have irrigation this spring. I'm going to throw down 200 Bermuda plugs. I am sick of fescue. Yeah, if you don't have irrigation and if you're up north, it might not be as bad, but around in the south, you're going to be hating life without irrigation. That's one thing with fescue. When temps get higher, it wants water to look nice. So yeah, going to Bermuda is a good option. I endorse that decision. It's a good option. And then Lois H is chiming in. She says, here are a few evergreens. I cannot pronounce that word. Here's the thing. I'm butchering healed up, so I know I'm going to mess this word up, but here we go. Leucotho axalarus. That's the hard one. Tea olive, got that one. And then any holly rhododendron. It sounds like a dinosaur. So yeah, any one of those. I would just go with the tea olive because it's easier to pronounce. The tea olives give off a wonderful fragrance. You'll smell over your entire lawn. So that's a good option. There you go. So you have some options for plants. You got the really long, the L-A word, and the holly, and then the long R word, or the tea olive. And according to Lois, the tea olive is the one that smells really good. So just go with tea olive, and be easier to pronounce. All righty, and yeah, looks like you found that useful. It's awesome. And then Shelby Amos says, okay, it goes down to 1.75 inches, but is that really still acceptable? I mean, it depends on your grass type, right? I mean, I like to see Bermuda at 1.5 inches or lower. I think that's when it looks best. If you mow it at a 1 3/4 inch, it can look good too. I mean, if you look at BYD's, look at Michael Bowman's lawn. Like his lawn, he only cuts with a rotary, and I don't think he mows down to 1 3/4 inches. I want to say he's probably at 2 inches year round, and his lawn looks pretty good. It just depends on the look you're after. If you want like that tight cut fairway look, you got to get it shorter. You got to get down to like 1 inch or lower is really what you're after. But 1.5 inches with a rotary looks really good with Bermuda. As far as like, the pinnacle of how a Bermuda lawn can look when it's cut with a rotary mower, like 1.5 inches looks really good. So I would go lower if you can, Shelby. That would be my vote. And then Michael Steele says, my Zenith Zoysia goes dormant in late October and wakes up in early March. Yeah, so you have the same growing cycle or growing season as we do. That's interesting. And go Bama. I tell you what? I don't even have any Bulldog merch. If we win tomorrow, next week on the live stream, it's going to happen because I'm sure I'm going to be able to find some Bulldog merch if we win. Actually, I might need to go try to find some tonight or tomorrow morning because if we lose, everyone's gonna be burning jerseys. You're not gonna be able to find anything. I'll be able to find like Atlanta United jerseys or Atlanta Braves, jerseys, teams that can actually win. Okay, Greg is up next. He says, since it'll be in the lower 70s like you for the next few days, will it be good time to hand spray my fall weeds here and there? Will the spray actually work at this time of year? Thanks. It's not the ideal time to take care of them, but if you want to give spot spraying a go, Greg, I mean, all that's going to happen is it's not going to work, right? Or it's not going to work as well than if you did it when the grass or the weeds are actively growing. So like when you spray the poison on them, the herbicide, when they're actively growing, they'll draw it in and it will kill them off faster. If they're growing, herbicide will technically still work. It just might take a lot longer. It'll be a much slower process. But like I always say, check the label, read the label, make sure there's no restrictions. If you're in the 70s, you're good. For most herbicides, you're good to go. But just check the label, just make sure there's no restrictions you need to be aware of before you apply it this time of year. All right. Gary is saying, living in the burbs of Chicago, I mulch early in the fall season. Once the trees start dropping, blow and bag the leaves. Yeah, I'm with that. I don't have a bunch of leaves on the lawn, so I don't really have trees, but I would not mulch continuously if you have a ton of leaf coverage on your lawn. I think you're just going to create problems by doing that. All right, actually, we got a super chat here from CMath. Let me get that really quick.
Super chat received.
I appreciate that. He says, got a stream support for our host. Fridays wouldn't be the same without the streams. I appreciate that. CMath, thank you so much, sir. I really do appreciate it. All right, our next question is from Shelby Amos. It says, Fort Worth, Texas. Actually, let me get your question up here on the screen. There we go. It says, in Fort Worth, Texas, I have a bag of Caravan G, and I'm wondering the best time to put it down for next season. Depends on what you're trying to do. If you don't have fungus problems, and you're not, terribly concerned about early season insect pressure, I would wait until May or June to do it. Like I'd say May to early June is the time I would do that, because as far as using it as a preventative, that's when you're going to get the most out of the fungicide as a preventative in the May time frame, and you're a little bit behind the ball as far as getting the insecticide down. Like I like to see the insecticides going down in March time frame, but again, if you've not had problems with that in the past, waiting a month or so is not going to be a bad deal. So I look at, and I've actually spoken to folks at Syngenta about this. I Caravan G is really more of like a, if you've not done any, if you're looking for like an all-in-one product that you can apply once in the season, as a preventative to take care of insects, and also to do like some as a fungicide as a preventative, it's a good option. And May timeframe is a good time to do that. If you've had problems with insects in the past, I would separate them. I would break out my fungus application, my fungicide application, and my insecticide application. I would use a Celiprin in March for your insecticide, and then for your fungicide, use whatever is going to best treat the fungus that you're dealing with. Headway is a great option for home lawns, but if you don't need propiconazole, then Heritage is a good option. So it just depends on what it is you're trying to achieve and what issues you've had in your lawn. That could determine whether you use a combination product or you'd be better off separating them. So, but in your case, the short answer is May, Shelby. That was when I would do it. All right. Greg Line says, I'm a Bama fan, but I'm not sure they will fare well tomorrow, but who knows? It would be a super good, it would be a super good game if they would come out and win. No, it wouldn't. It'd be a super good game if we like curb stomp them. No, if they win, that is, I don't even want it to be close. I mean, here's the thing. I would like the game to be, I don't know. I mean, do I want the Georgians to run away with it? That would be nice, because no one does Alabama like that. That would be, us, if it's close, the Bama fans are going to be like, here, you know why we need to just really run the score up on them? Because here's what's going to happen. Here's what I'm going to hear from like Demir and Josh and Bama fans. Because you guys are not gracious winners, and I highly doubt gracious losers. What y'all are going to say then is, oh, well, they only won by a field goal. Look at that. That really means that Bama won because Georgia has a much better team this year. And if we could only could win by a field goal, we basically still won this year. So that's why tomorrow it needs to be like a boring game to watch. Like it needs to be like Georgia is playing like a high school team. That's what it needs to look like. It just got to be like no. It can't. There can be no, no confusion about who dominated the football match. So Georgia, please win. I'm throwing a lot of shade right now, man. I do not want to get inundated with Bama paraphernalia if you guys don't pull this off. So please win. Okay, Thinka says not a college football fan, but this is entertaining. You don't understand, man. Like, I think the only I'm trying to think. Do we hate the? I think the Gators are probably more hated, maybe than Alabama. In recent years, I think Bama, but it's the Gator. Like, so the Volunteers, but like Tennessee is not very good this year. They haven't been for a couple of years. But like Tennessee, don't want to lose. You don't want to lose to anybody, but don't want to lose to Tennessee. Definitely don't want to lose to the Gators. And because of Nick Saban, don't want to lose to Bama, but it's kind of like it's Bama. So you kind of expect if you lose, it's like whatever. They are normally the better team. This year they're not, so we really should not lose to them. Shouldn't, but I think hatred for the Gators is probably greater than hatred for Alabama. I think. All right, Dean Heald is back. See. I got it right. I think I got it. He says, I love all the tips and your techniques you provide to us regarding Bermuda grass care. Thank you. Your great personality attracts other great people. I appreciate that, Dean. I really, really do appreciate that. I try to have fun with it because I can just be like, if I just answer the question and just say, yes, put fertilizer down, like soil test your lawn, mow, twice a week, and you're going to have great grass. I mean, that's really like lawn care all summed up in like 20 seconds. But it's a lot more fun to cut up and have fun and do giveaways and chat about, and about football teams and this kind of stuff. Plus, we don't in Atlanta, we don't have a whole lot to cheer about a lot of times. It would be so awesome for Georgia to win tomorrow. I got to tell you, like we could not win again for the next decade if we win tomorrow. If we win tomorrow, I'll give up the next 10 years of wins. If we can just crush Alabama tomorrow. I mean, I'm sure Georgia fans would disagree with that, but I'm begging at this point, begging and pleading. All right. Michael Steele asks a question: What do you do with your stolons when you edge? You never talk about it. Do you plug or transplant them? Nothing. I blow them off. I just get rid of them. So when I edge any runners, I cut them off and just blow them off. Get rid of them. I don't do anything special as far as transplants or anything like that. Nothing special. They just die. And then Demir says, I will definitely come back on. I'll draw the line in the sand and respect your Georgia Dog fan. The good news for we're all Turf Graphs fans. I'm just playing, man. I mean, I don't really, if you want to wear your Alabama gear, I don't really care, dude. Here's the thing. I am not so invested in a sports team that, a lot of people will say, we won. We didn't technically win. The guys who were playing the game won. But I mean, I would love Georgia to see Georgia win, but I don't, it's not going to change my life either way, if they don't. So I'd like them to win, though. I'd like them to win. It'd be cool. And, you Alabama people should just let us have this one, man. Come on. Be cool. Just relax. All right. Alex is saying, my only shrub recommendation is stay away from anything that gets big. Before I took down the huge trees in my front yard, it was so much harder to keep the lawn looking good. Yeah, that's the thing. Most... I guess if you get like a dwarf plant, like even like the Japanese maple that's in the front is supposed to be a small one, but it's big. The tree's like it's probably 10 feet tall. It's a big Japanese maple. And they say the Japanese maples are really not supposed to get that big, but that one is really big. So, that's the one thing you almost like, you get like a dog or a cat, say, oh, it's supposed to be like a dwarf or a small pet. And they grow up into like, 70, 80 pound animal. So same thing with shrubs. They can tend to get unruly, and then you got a problem on your hands. So, all right. Tom V says, hey, Ron, just want to say I really enjoyed the show with Demir a few weeks back. I think combining your home golf course lawn experience with that full course is very insightful. Yeah, we're definitely going to make it happen. Maybe next week. I'll have to see if next week works for him. We can get him back on. If Georgia wins, he might not. He might be in therapy. He might be having a really bad time as far as, wanting to make a public appearance. But, invitation is open. If you want to come on next week, Friday, you are more than welcome to, sir. If your schedule permits, we'll have to chat about it. All right. Dean is back. He says, do you have a recommended source for a Toro Greens Master 2100 or 1600? Yeah. So if you are in the Atlanta area, Jerry Pate Company, they get mowers in off lease fairly regularly. And a mower that you get from them is going to be taken care of, right? It's going to be all they're going to go through it, replace any belts that need to be replaced. They'll sharpen it, so you're just going to have a fresh grind on it. You're going to be all you need to do is put gas in it and go mow grass once it's done. So as far as an option for getting a quality unit, I'd reach out to Joey at Jerry Pate and ask them. Like earlier this year, they had some 800s, and I don't think they had any 2100s. The 2100s are a little bit newer. I didn't see any of those, but they had 800s and they had 1000s. But I'm sure they get the 2100s in too. So just call them up and see what they say. If they get anything off lease soon, and then you might be able to get a good deal on one that route. Another way is you can check like the marketplaces, like again, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, Craigslist, assuming that's still a thing. You can try those. But if you want, but for a unit that's been gone through that you just literally you're gonna pay for it and take it home and cut with it, I would go with reach out to the guys at Jerry Pate first if you're in the Atlanta area. That is what I would do. He says, I am so funny. No, man, I don't want to mess your name up. I mean, and it's a good thing you told me, because I'm telling you, I would be sitting here calling you Dean Healed or Heal. I would have never gotten old. I would never have gotten healed, because I would be butchering your name from now until whenever. So it's a good thing you told me. He old. So I'll just remember that, like he old, like that guy, he old. I'll just remember that as the way to say your name. Okay, Tom B says, if you had to choose a PGR, would you use T-Nex or Primo Max? Why is Primo Max twice the price per gallon? It's a good point. So Primo Max, I don't. Here's a good question. I don't know why it costs twice as much as T-Nex. I mean, it's a name brand. It is like Syngenta's bottling it. I don't know if the carriers that are in Primo Max are different than what are in T-Nex. It's similar along the lines of like, why does Barricade cost more than like generic why does Barricade cost more than generic prodiamine? I'm sure there are differences as far as like the formulation that Syngenta uses. Some of it is that it's got Syngenta's name on it. I'm sure, but I don't think that, I don't want to think that that's the only reason. That's a good question. I'll have to reach out to them and ask them. I mean, I'm not sure they've ever tested T-Nex to be able to tell me, but to ask them what is the difference between Primo Max and other plant growth regulators that contain trinexapac ethyl as the active ingredient. Like what sets Primo Max apart? That's an excellent question, Tom. I will reach out to them and ask. No, and Demir's already answered it for me. So here we go. He says, Tom, T-Nex is Primo Max. That's just the active ingredient. Primo is expensive because you're paying for this. There you go. For what I said, you're paying for the Syngenta name brand. Podium and Quali Pro are generic T-Nex brands. Podium is still Primo. Part 1. Part 2. That's for big scale applications. So there you go. Same thing. I know they're both trinexapac ethyl. I don't know if the makeup outside of them being trinexapac ethyl, if there's any differences outside of that. So there you go. One thing is that if you have a smaller lawn, Primo Max is, I want to say has made an investment in the DIY, or Primo Max, Syngenta has made an investment in the DIY community in the sense that they've made it available in a smaller container. So some people have said, even with T-Nex, even though it is cheaper per gallon than Primo, like a gallon of PGR is a lot of PGR. Like, you figure that it's 1 ounce of PGR on Bermuda covers 4,000 square feet, right? So you figure 1 ounce is 128 ounces in a gallon. That's a lot. It's a lot of square feet. So it's more than most home lawns are going to use. So the fact that you can also get, a high quality plant growth regulator in a smaller amount, like this is going to cover, so it's 4 ounces, so 16,000 square feet. So 16,000 square feet total, or 4 applications on most home lawns. So you could buy one of these, and this is going to be good for an entire season. So that's one benefit to it. You're not storing a bunch of PGR for years and years and years. So yeah, it depends on the size of the property you're dealing with. If you prefer to have a smaller container, There's a lot of arguments, a lot of reasons for that, because really the only reason why Syngenta did this is for us. Like, they did this for us. There's no benefit to them. I mean, obviously they're making money on it, I'm sure, but there's no like what Demir bought, right? What Demir bought just on his golf course in Primo Max is probably more than they're gonna is comparable of what they're gonna sell in this to a lot of the DIY community. You know what I mean? This is purely for the DIY space. So I mean, I think, if the price on it isn't bad, and for people with smaller lawns, it's a great way to also show, let the big boys know that, hey, we appreciate them. We appreciate them, taking the time and the expense of making their flagship products in a smaller container that's more suited for us. And that's my take on it. But if you got a really, really big property, like if you got acres and acres and acres that you're putting plant growth regulator on, then I can see why you may lean towards one of the more economical options. So, but yeah, that's my 2 cents. All right, Kevin D says, "I got your back, Ron. Us against the Bama fans." Yeah, man. Yeah, I think we're gonna be fine, Kevin. It's just I don't want it to be close because they are not gonna be gracious winners. If we don't win by like 21 points, if we don't put like 14 plus, if we don't put 14 plus points on Bama, they're gonna say, "See, it was basically a win for Bama because we got a trash team this year and y'all just still barely beat us." I'm already thinking about how it's gonna go. That's it's going to go down. So I want to be big. CW Spurs like Georgia 45, Alabama 10. That would be nice. That would be that's a great score. Not an awesome game to watch, but it would be a great score. That would be a convincing beat. All right, Dean Heold in the house with a super chat. I appreciate it.
Super chat.
He says, "I'm learning from watching your content. Thank you so much, Ron. I appreciate the support, sir. Thanks for that. Thanks again for chiming in and for watching the live stream." All right, let's see. We see here, Tom V says, "P.S. I see Ryan DeMay on the chat. He and Ryan Nord do a great podcast and YouTube videos. Maybe Ron should join them for one of the shows." Yeah, I mean, if they invite me on, I'd be happy to come to chat with Ryan and them. I've never. I know that they were doing a live stream before. I didn't know they're still doing one now. I haven't. Yeah, I didn't know that they were regularly doing a show. So it's news to me, Tom. But yeah, very, very cool. All right, yeah, but yeah, definitely, yeah, Dean, Jerry Pate. That's who I would start there if you're in Atlanta. That is who I would start with. That is the way that I would go with. Okay, wait. He says, "I am not." Hang on. Am I messing this up? He says, "I am not healed." Healed. Hang on. Let me scroll up. What did you tell me? Didn't you tell me it's not healed or healed? Let me fix, man. It's okay. You said, "Hey Ron, just a pet peeve. My last name is pronounced healed or healed. Okay, or healed, not Harold." Okay, so that's okay. So I can do healed or healed, like a wound healed, like you're saying, but not Harold. Okay, I got you. So healed or healed. Gotcha. Okay, good. So I got 2 options. So that's good. So in a pinch, I'll come out okay. So I appreciate it, man. He's like a wound heal. I appreciate you. No problem. No, thanks for clearing that up. I thought I only had 1 option, but you're saying I got 2. So that makes it even that much easier. All right. Jim Carson is saying, John Finley, juniper trees, very old school Japanese garden style. That could be cool. Those do look nice. Junipers do look pretty, but how big or how small do those stay? I can't say the junipers stay super small, Jim. I don't know if that's going to be, depending on how, what size he's looking for. I don't know that junipers are a great option, but that's just me. All right. Dean Healed says, "I appreciate Alex B. and Demir and all the others who participate on Ron's channel. I always look forward to watching him and hearing from all you guys each week. Thank you." And then next up, we got Josh. Bronikowski in the house. He says, "I have 3-month-old Tiff Tough. Think I could put down pre-emergent in the dead of winter without causing shallow roots or root damage?" I wouldn't, Josh. Here's the thing. Could you do it and because it's Bermuda, be fine? More than likely, yes. More than likely, if you were put down pre-emergent on 3-month-old Bermuda, it'd be just okay. On my lawn, this lawn was seeded in December. It was sodded in December, and pre-emergent went down on it in March. So I did exactly what you're talking about, and the lawn did fine. However, if a more conservative approach would be to just forego the fall pre-emergent, and to do, like, if you want to do one in the spring, so like the 6 months time frame, like that's a safer bet than doing it right now. That's the way I would go. And if you're going to wait till the spring, give coastal a shot, man, because it's like, one of the problems with waiting till the spring to do pre-emergent is like POA is already going to be rearing its ugly head, right? Your lawn's already going to have POA in it. It's going to be looking kind of rough. But with coastal, you've got those two active ingredients. You've got the simazine and imazaquin to knock back the POA while also providing pre-emergent in the prodiamine. So I would wait. Again, if you did it, is the lawn likely to be okay? More than likely, yes. But just to be safe, I don't want you to be the one case where you put down pre-emergent on 3-month-old Bermuda, and the lawn, give up the ghost next year. Doesn't grow out and has all kinds of issues. So it's not, given everything you put into it, it's not worth risking it if you're really, really worried about it. And I have Tifway 419 as my base grass. Tiff Tough really should be better, should be hardier, but I don't know. I didn't like on my grass. It was Tifway 419. Tiff Tough should be fine, but who's to say, right? Who's to say that you would still be all right if you did that? All right, and then Dean, yeah. So if you're in Virginia, I mean, I don't know if they'll ship it. I mean, anyone will ship anything for the right price, right? But here's the thing: if you're looking to ship, like if you're fine with shipping, you could give Jerry Pate a call and see, or you can try where I got my mower from, which is Prairie. For some reason I always have trouble spelling the word prairie for some reason. Prairie Turf and Outdoor Equipment. It's something about how the R's are in it. It always messes with my brain about where the R's go. Outdoor Equipment. That's where I got my greens master from. They are in Canada, so they're in Canada, in Manitoba, I believe. But they are all out shipping, so they will ship it to you. Like the price includes them shipping it. They load it up really well. They package it really well on a crate. So the mower will, in my case, showed up undamaged, no issues or anything like that. But I can show you their website really quick. So I think the guy's name is Greg. But yeah, look them up. They carry a bunch of different lines under their used equipment, walking greens mowers. Let's see. Right now they got nothing. So don't call Prairie Turf and Equipment. But well, no, that's not true. Wait, we got one here. We got one. They got 2016. Who is going to be pricey? We got 2016 1000 walking greens mower, 11 blade with a groomer, 1600 hours. I'm kind of click view, but it's not working. I don't know why is Safari misbehaving. Yeah, there we go. So nope, I don't know. I'm not sure what's up with my ability to click. Okay, yes, it's working. So it was just loading. It was just slow. So you got the 2016 Greensmaster. You've got Jacobson. So if you like Jacobson mowers, I don't have any experience with those, so I can't really say. You've got some cutting heads. Ooh, brand new ones. Ooh. Got some brand new cutting heads for a Flex 2220 or 2100. And a couple other Jacobsons. So yeah, but they've got a 2016. They've got a 2016, a 1000 here with relatively low hours. So just check them out. They tend to get them in. I don't know too much about the Jacobson mowers. I don't know anyone that actually has one. So, but yeah, as far as Toro, this is an option for getting a higher quality, a good quality mower that's also been gone through, kind of like what you would get from Jerry Pate. If you're fine with people getting stuff shipped to you. So, and that's how I got my mower. It showed up undamaged. The thing with them too also is a lot of times they are able to provide the baskets, like the grass catcher along with it. So make sure you ask about that. Whereas, with, and same thing with Jerry Pate, they can get grass catchers too. So either one, man, just check either one of them, see whose price is better and go from there. Okay. Let's see. And I think we are almost out. I think we've got one last one, Andy's Lawn Care, and then we're gonna be wrapping it up, guys. So Andy's Lawn Care says, an outdoor adventure says, hey Ron, been a while since I've been able to watch one of these live streams. Just popping by to say hi. Been busy with school and leaf cleanups. Finally done with leaf cleanups. Waiting on snow now. Well, I appreciate you coming to hang out, Andy's. Thanks so much for the support. That is awesome. I'm glad that finally you're done with all the leaf cleanup and that you're going to start watching the live stream a bit more now. And maybe next week, here in the near future, whenever, depending on when his schedule permits, we'll get Demir on. You guys can have like a cool season Jedi. I say another because you have a cool season Jedi on to talk all things cool season turf, which will be great. And then things will be great. And I have another question here from Lois. He says, hey, Ron, I have a large area of clover that is still green. I'm looking at Celsius. Will it work, and can I apply it now? What do you recommend? I've never used Celsius this time of year. It should work against clover, but I don't know what kind of results you're going to get this time of year, Lois. So if you've already got some and you want to give it a shot, you want to spot spray an area or just spray the area you've got the clover, you can give it a go. But I've never actually tried it to know what kind of results you're going to get. I'm checking when I think about the label. There's not really. I'm trying to think if there's any lower end temperature restrictions for Celsius, and I don't recall. I don't recall off the top of my head. So I would check the label and see, make sure there's no restrictions on the lower end for when you apply it. And if not, you can give it a shot. I would say make sure you use surfactant with it. Use like the high yield spreader stick or some kind of non-iodic surfactant along with that. For best possible results. But yeah, check the label and see. It should work. I've just never tried it this time of year to know for sure. So hopefully that helps. And if you don't have Celsius, actually, let me send you a link. And yep, right here. If you don't have Celsius, I will send you a link of where you can get it. If you want to go that route. So at Lois, right here and there. You grab Celsius on the Amazonia. All right. Yeah, you're very, very welcome, Dean. No problem at all. We got Kelby saying, hey, Ron, what's up? What are your top 3 gifts? What are your top 3 gifts for newbies that isn't a soil test, mower, edger? Okay, so I'm guessing lawn care related. So if it's not a soil test, not an edger, not a mower, I'm going to say Humic Max Fertilizer, the golf course lawn carbon kit, and a liquid fertilizer of your choosing. So I like Turfplex, but if you want something else, you could go with that. But yeah, I would do, well, actually, let me think about this. Yeah. So I would do the carbon kit. Yeah. I'm trying to think if I want to use one of my options on the granular carbon. Humic Max, the carbon kit, and your choice between a liquid fert or the granular carbon. Probably, I don't know, depending on which way you want to go. I mean, I like both of them. So, but yeah, the Humic Max would definitely be I'm definitely going to punch one of my tickets on that one. The carbon kit, I'm definitely going to use that one. And then number 3, your call, liquid fert or the granular carbon. Depends on which way you want to go. Both will work. Both will give you great results. Hopefully that helps, and you can get all that stuff, surprise, surprise, at the golf course lawn store. Lance F is up next. He says 1608 or 1648 granular fertilizer. Your thoughts while spoon feeding with Turfplex every month. Depends on whether you need phosphorus or not. If you need phosphorus, then the 1648. If you don't need phosphorus, then 1608. And unlike nitrogen and potassium, I'm not a fan of adding phosphorus if you don't need it, because unlike the other two, which go away, they get consumed, they use up, they are easily one of the terms that you'll also often hear is they can easily leach out of the soil, but phosphorus tends to stick around. Phosphorus it takes a while to lower phosphorus levels if they get excessively high. So there's no reason to regularly add that to your lawn, to the soil, unless you need it. So only if you need phosphorus would I do the 1648. And once you got phosphorus levels to a good level, I would stop applying it. I switched to a 1608 at that point. So hopefully that helps. Great question, Lance. Gary, it says, my wife came downstairs and asked if I was watching BYD. She rolled her eyes when she seen when she saw the chat. Hey man, listen, do not get me in trouble with your wife, man. Look, don't get me in trouble. That's all I'm trying to say. No, it's not BYD. But no, it's me. Unfortunately, it's not BYD. You guys have to just accept me. Unfortunately, he's not on the live stream tonight. I gotta get BYD on again too. I gotta get Demir on and BYD on. And Alan. Thing with Alan, I gotta get Alan again, but I don't think Alan likes to stay on super long. So I gotta, have like an hour of like the lawn care net. So we'll like start the stream, get him on for like an hour and a half. I can get him to go for that long. And then we'll just continue on. So I know how you guys are. You guys are like, you're a needy bunch. You guys, takes 3 hours to get through, it. All right, Dean. But yeah, yep. Oh, so Dean has a question. He says, oh yeah, and actually Demir has a better answer than me. Do a soil test, and if you need phosphorus, if not, go 1608. Yep. So there you go. Very, very go. And then Harper Explorer says Ryan is gaslighting. I know Harper, but I mean, why not troll the troll, right? I mean, I'm down with it. Whatever. It's if you want to take time out to come hang out in live stream and try and troll me, whatever. Worse has happened. All right. Next up, Dean. Dean heals up. He says, "Where is your lemonade? Did I miss it? No, you didn't. I've got it right here tonight. And tonight, guys, I'm going top shelf. Top shelf. This is pure Chick-fil-A good. You can even tell. You can't really show without spilling it. Can I? Yeah. You can even see the pulp in there. That's that Chick-fil-A goodness. See, that's a quality lemonade. None of that stuff where it's all filtered. That's made with real lemonade. So, Chick-fil-A lemonade tonight." It says, can you do a cool shot of putting the sunglasses on again? I don't have my sunglasses in here tonight. I don't have them. But next week, I tell you what, if Alabama wins, since I'm going to be wearing, I'm not going to be wearing Alabama gear because I'm not going to be able to find any around here. So if Alabama wins, then I'll bring my sunglasses and I'll put my glasses on if you guys want to see that. I aim to please. LG's up. Thank you so much, LG. I appreciate it.
Super chat received.
He says, I'd like to sponsor the final sip, and I also like to troll Habib's Bills. See, LG, I'm not like that. I don't know when the Bills have a bad, a less than good game. It's like they could have had a bad night. I'm not gonna troll them, but he probably deserves it, given that he's trying to talk trash about my dogs, who are going to win tomorrow. So there you go. All right. Next up, we got Chris Dada saying, thinking of switching to a grooved roller from a smooth one. Good idea or waste of time? I would. I mean, if I were starting out, and some people will disagree with me on this, I would go grooved and just go. I would go grooved from the start. You get a better and a tighter cut with a grooved roller than a smooth roller. You could make the argument that at a small level, a grooved roller will help break up or help, reduce thatch to an extent, because it's, you're basically crushing or combing grooves into the thatch layer versus kind of just compacting everything down with a smooth roller. And you got to figure if smooth rollers were superior, you'd see them on greens mowers, and you don't, right? So there's actually I'm going to see if I can find it. There's actually a video that the USGA did on smooth versus grooved rollers that I watched. It looks like an 80s video. It's the quality of the video is not that great, but the USGA actually did it. And of course, when I search for this, it's only YouTubers that are showing up. But they actually did a video showing they showed mowing greens with a grooved roller and a smooth roller, and like the clip rate, the clip rate was higher. They got more material with the grooved than the smooth, and there were some other benefits as well. And they just pretty much said you could use a smooth one, but there's no real reason to do it. I'll have to look around if I can find the video. So I was doing a lot of research into this stuff, but there is a video online where they covered that. But yeah. And then we have Demir, who's actually the resident expert. He can chime in and he says, Chris Dada, it depends. Smooth is good for eliminating scalping, smoothing uneven areas, plus adds front weight to reduce balancing. Grooved is good for thick established turf, gives you a tighter cut. So there you go. So that'd be a good question, Demir, for whenever you come on the live stream. On your course, do you guys use smooth rollers anywhere? And if so, where? Like, where do you guys find value in using a smooth roller? I've like on all the courses around here when I've looked around, when I went out to Stone Mountain golf course, all they had were grooved rollers on their cutting heads. I didn't see any smooth rollers, but I mean, if you guys use them, it'd be interesting to hear what you. Yeah, you just chimed in. You said, yeah, grooved rollers all day. So yeah, there are use cases, but for most people, like in other words, if you only buy one, I would choose a grooved roller because that's ultimately going to produce the best possible cut, which is what we really care about. Right. So there you go. Okay. Michael C says, Ron, hey, Ron, question in the live. I live in Pittsburgh, and when ground ivy dies off because of the cold weather, why does it come back in the spring? Thanks. Probably for the same reason. I don't know that much about ground ivy, but I imagine it's not like an annual where it grows in, dies, and doesn't come back. It's like a perennial weed. So I wouldn't. That's your reason. Kind of like why I still get spurge in my lawn. Like there's been some areas, like especially last year, I didn't do any pre-emergent, but like areas of my lawn where I've had issues with spurge, and other areas of my lawn where I've had issues with nutsedge. Like every year they pop back. Like whenever I get like a heavy rain, like nutsedge will show up in those same areas. So it just it may go dormant or you may knock it back, but it just comes back. So yeah, and I'm sure Michael, with like a really concerted effort, like if you really hammered it maybe several times over, like every year you're really diligent about really going hard on it, and maybe even doing follow-up apps, you might be able to eliminate it. But in most cases, what you're going to find is that each year, I think the best case scenario is each year you'll just see it come back less and less and less versus being able to eliminate it all in one sitting. All right, Dean Yaman, thanks again for the super chat, man. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for the support. And guys, I think and Dean says, thanks for your advice. I would like to get more contact with Demir next season. You'll get more contact with him hopefully this month if we can get him on. Again, I know it's this time of year when everyone's doing Christmas shopping and got winding down. So depending on what his schedule is like, we will try and get him on again, and we can you'll get more of that. So yeah, it's we will definitely do our best to make that happen, man, for sure. And I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you coming to hang out in the live stream. All you guys coming to hang out. I know it's the off season, not a lot going on, but still, we can get together and talk about turf a little bit and just cut up and have a good time, talk about football, and we'll see. Hopefully, I'm not gonna have to eat crow next week if Georgia for some reason loses to Alabama. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it. Humic Max is still on sale. We're going to run that for a while longer, so definitely take advantage of that if you're in need of a quality fertilizer and you want to load up for next season. The Golf Course Lawn Academy is still live, so that is a thing if you want to get like detailed, targeted instruction. A lot of things that I don't put on YouTube that are only in the course. Definitely take advantage of that. There's also the private Facebook group in there as well. And for all your golf course lawn accoutrement, you can go to the Golf Course Lawn Store where, again, all the fertilizers, the carbon soil amendments, all the stuff that I use to help create amazing lawns, it's all available there. I appreciate you guys watching so much, and I will actually, no, I was almost done, but Dean's got one last question. I don't want to leave him hanging, so I'll take the last question, and then we'll hang it up. He says, how would you rate a true cut mower to a Toro Greens mower? Totally different universes. It's like comparing a Volkswagen to a Porsche. Like they're both cars, both German, both great build. But a Porsche is just it's like a Greens mower is like if your goal is the best possible cut. Like if the only criteria is I want to put a piece of equipment on my lawn that is going to produce the best possible cut that is the only criteria I care about. You can't beat a greens mower. A true cut is good in the sense that it's a bit easier to live with, right? Like you don't have to the whole theater of having to take drive wheels on and off. It tends to work better up against tight places. So if you have obstacles in your lawn, a true cut is better for that than a greens mower. True cut service is cheaper than greens mower service. What else? What else can I say? But I mean, but if what you're looking for is like the best cut, it's a greens mower. You can't beat it. You can't beat a greens master. I mean, and this has come from someone that was all about true cut. I literally said, true cut is the end all be all. That can't get any better than this. This is awesome. When I got my greens mower, I made like 2 passes. I made a pass down and a pass back, and I turned the mower off and looked at it, and I could not believe what I was seeing. I was sitting there just laughing, looking at it, because it is incredible. It's just the stripe action was beautiful. The cut was just awesome. I mean, it was literally better in every way. There is no, when it comes to just quality of cut, there is no scenario, there's no situation where the greens master, where the true cut is better or cuts or produces a better cut. There are scenarios where it's a more usable piece of equipment. Like if you got like tight spaces, it's better. But just from like the best possible cut, Greensmaster all day long, all day, every day, all day, every day. Can't beat it. And I think that is it. I'm looking here, and Demir saying, he's kind of like saying, "Hey man," he's giving the answer. Nobody got fired for buying IBM. He says, "Hey man, I don't know much about TrueCut, but you can't go wrong with Toro. Like Toro is like the gold standard." And I would agree with that. If I could only have one, and it would work on all areas of my lawn, the Greensmaster is what I would go with. But the Toro, the true cut can cut areas of my lawn that the Toro cannot reach. So for that reason is why I keep it around. So hopefully that helps. Going uphill, it works well. Even both of them work well uphill. Here's the thing that's kind of counterintuitive. Neither mower works well when the grass is really dry. When there's a bit of moisture in the grass, there's not a ton of difference between the Greensmaster and the True Cut. When the grass is dry, the True Cut does a little bit better because it's got the tractor tires and they bite in a bit better. But I mean, if you're for regular mowing, there's not a whole lot of difference between the True Cut and a Greensmaster on a slope. But the slope looks better when it's cut with a Greensmaster, and it's less likely to scalp. That's another point I didn't talk about. Like the True Cut will scalp areas of the lawn that the Greensmaster will not. So that's another reason too. As far as like following undulations or following this uneven air parts of the lawn, the Greensmaster, even the one that I have, which is a fixed cutting head unit, the 1600, it's much less likely to scalp than the True Cut. So that's another reason, another vote yet again for the GM. But cool, man. And then let me see what else we've got here. I think we're good. I had my conclusion all done. I was all winding down. And then Lance F says, "Why is my KBG lighter and darker?" And Demir's got a good answer. Yeah, so maybe some POA. He says, "Lance F, you may have some POA in your KBG. Spray some iron and micros to even out the color." So there you go. That's a solution. See, my answer would have been like, figure out a way to kill the POA, because we hate POA around here. But he's saying, "Hey man, just put some iron down and just embrace the POA. Make it all look green." So there we go. Yeah, I agree, Dean. Even though I want to say that I think John Deere is still the mower of the PGA Tour, but you got to figure Augusta National, which is like the standard, in my opinion anyway, the standard for like golf courses, like worldwide, can use anything they want. They can have any equipment they want, and they use Toro. So that should tell you something. That to me, that's good enough. It's good enough for Augusta National. Good enough for my small little lawn here. So there we go. And then Fidip is saying, he says, "Hey Ron, I have a used JD 180 SL greens mower that needs some TLC. If I bring it to a mechanic, how much should I expect to pay for some general maintenance ballpark figure?" It depends on what it needs, man. If it's just just to freshen up the reel, like a grind, a couple $100, you know, just them to, you know, to freshen up things, and they're not replacing any parts, $200. If if you're having to replace like belts, you got to put like a bed knife on it or put a reel on it, like bring your wallet. Then it can get expensive really quickly. I mean, here's the thing. Due to some testing I did earlier this season where I tried to mow concrete with my Greensmaster, I can tell you that you will spend like close to almost like the thick end of $800 to $900 to replace a real bed knife, bearings, and you know other and labor on a Greensmaster. So that kind of puts it in perspective. Like if you got to like rebuild the whole front of the mower, you're looking like close to $1,000. But if you're just talking about just some either if they're gonna if they're gonna change the oil and do the reel and bed knife, I think you should be able to get out of there for under $300, man. I mean, just a sharpening, and a good freshening up, $200 to $300 is what I think you should on the higher end is probably what you're looking at, and that's without any major parts being replaced. But I don't know what John Deere parts cost compared to Toro parts. But yeah, that should give you an idea. Yeah, and Chris, yeah, he said it climbs even with a smooth cylinder. Not trying to work myself over with a slope. Yeah, it does. Actually, you know what? Here's the thing. I knew, even though this video has gotten horrible views because it's kind of a boring video, I knew at some point this question would come up. So there's actually a video of me mowing the front lawn. I don't really talk in the video, and it's like, how long is it? It's like 7 minutes of all you're seeing is a Greensmaster making light work of a slope. So you can see for yourself, Chris, and this was done in the morning when there's dew on the lawn. You can actually take a look at it. So let me see, at Chris Dada, that video right there will let you see a Greensmaster being run on a slope in the morning when there's dew on the lawn. And yeah, it works fine. Mind you, I always mow diagonally. Or I should say, I don't always, but I mean, I finish up with a diagonal mow because that I find produces the best cut on a slope. But watch that video and you can see what you can expect. That's me in the morning. It was earlier this year during the mowing season, growing season, and I ran the mower on it. So it runs great, does a good job. But it's when the grass is dry that you will like break your neck trying to get that mower up on dry grass. There's nothing for the little dimples that are on the drums to bite into. It's just the grass is just too dry. It literally slides all over the place. The true cut is a little bit better, but neither of them are good on dry grass. But when it's wet or when the grass is actively growing, no problem at all. Cool deal, guys. I think we are good. I think that's all the questions. I had one more that I had to go through and answer, but I appreciate you guys hanging out. Again, be sure to like, comment on your way out. If you're not yet a subscriber of the channel, feel free to subscribe. I appreciate all the subscribers and the trust and faith you guys put into me. I will see you guys next time, hopefully.